What up, people? How you doing? It's your boy Danny. It is that time, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the show is called Equilibrium. Terrence, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you
All
hear
right.
me?
And Mr. Jason, yeah, I can hear you. And how are you doing today, Jason?
I'm good, man. How you guys doing?
I'm doing well. Doing well.
Excellent.
Everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us. I see Ninja as usual, D. Scott, Maz Mama Bear, and Great Swords Guy. What's up? That's my buddy Mike. Before we get in today's show, I just want to tell you, my name is Danny. My channel is Comet Chat. This is the show me and Terrence made called Equilibrium. We do this every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm trying to get to 1,500 subs. I can only do that with your help. Right now, I think I'm at 1162 last time I checked. I don't think I'm going to get there by Father's Day to my goal, 1,500. I just want to get to 1,500. That's my next milestone. But I can only do that with your help. So please, if you like what you see on my content, um, please subscribe. Please share my link. And please tell your friends, hey, look, come check Danny out. He does good content. Might make you laugh, might make you chuckle, might make you say, but that's what I try to do. Also, please hit the notification bell. I don't want you to miss any material that I upload now and in the future. And also give me a thumbs up. The thumbs up is a like. That like helps out the YouTube algorithm. And also leave a comment. Any comment you leave, I will read, and I usually respond within 24 to 48 hours, sometimes even quicker. This week I took Terrence's advice and I did 4 videos. I don't know last time I did 4 videos. I can't tell you. But I went outside, knocked them right out real quick. I did 2 one day and 2 the next day. Got pretty good feedback from them. So I think I may do that on my days that I'm off and I'm practicing social distancing. Well, without further ado, as you can see here in the back, Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge is what we're going to be talking about primarily today on this chat. And then I'm pretty sure we'll split off in other things. But this came out last Monday on digital. I don't think it's out on DVD yet or foray. But Terrence saw it first. I think then Jason saw it. And then I saw it. And I can tell you since then, I've already watched it 3 times. So I'll let Jason go first. Tell me, Jason, what you on a score from 1 to 10? What do you give it?
Well, 10 being
One
great.
being what the fuck, and 10 being all hell. What do you give it?
I give it a 10. Absolutely. I actually think it's one of the best movies I've seen this year so far.
Okay. How about you, Terrence? What do you give it?
When I started the movie, I was in a very quiet environment, which is how I like to consume my material. No noisy ass humans around. And once I, hit the play button, I was diving into the movie 10 minutes in. I'm like, I think I just went into shock, and I ended up going into the nether realm, and I was like, man, this is a 10 out of 10 already. Like, in fact, the strangest thing happened too. Like by the time I got to the 20-minute mark, I noticed that my body was on fire. And then that's when I realized that I was turning into Scorpion myself. So it was pretty crazy.
I hear you. I'm gonna give it a 10 too. Well, I'm gonna give it a 9.5. And I'm gonna tell you why don't give it a 10. Um, I wasn't too keen on Johnny. Man, he was a goofball, and I know that's part of his persona. In the other Johnny, he like be too cool for school, but this man, he like kind of like a goofball until that last fight. That last fight when Sonya realized. Well, okay, before we go into it, if you haven't watched this is going to be a full spoiler. So I'm sorry if you don't want to spoil it or see what's or hear what's going on. Then you need to cut this off right now and maybe turn it on after you watch this. Watch this before you click off, giving that thumbs up. But this is going to be a full spoiler. So if you don't want to hear what's going on, then this is not the show to watch. Come back in the next 45 minutes. We'll be talking about something else then. But for the next 45 minutes, we're going to be talking about this movie. Okay. Go ahead. Oh, let me finish my thought. Yeah, Johnny. He's acting like a goofball. I mean, his fighting was hell when he fought, but then I don't remember him doing his signature move, like the shadow kick or the little ball energy thing. I don't remember seeing him doing any of that.
No, he didn't do any of that, but he did the nut punch.
Okay,
That that usually is one of like the ball, the signature kick in the first couple Mortal Kombats. That was his move, but once they put that ball punch in, that's became his signature move.
I don't, and he did the ball punch.
Yeah, he did.
Wow,
Yes, he
I
did.
didn't recall seeing that.
Yeah, he did. He went down and he held it for a bit, and then he just went right in the guy's nutsack.
Okay,
Yeah. So Johnny
but
Cage, I was gonna say Johnny Cage is kind of a goofball in the games, so I didn't have a problem with that.
that's my only negative. If I got to give it something, like I said, 9.5. Other than that, fantastic movie. I hope the live action lives up to this.
Me too.
I listened to somebody else did a critique, and he said that it showed like in the movie. I know it was paying homage to the movies, but like when it showed a movie, it would show it like in the X-ray version.
Mhm.
So like if he did a punch, it would show like the damage the punch do in the X-ray. They did that a lot, but I didn't mind it too much. I listened to another person did a review on it, and they said that they thought they used that particular special effect a bit too much to their liking.
Well, that's
But
actually from the game.
yeah, I know it's from the game. He
Yeah,
just said that they used it too much. Like every fight they were showing, which I didn't mind it.
me neither. What about you, Terrence?
Um, yeah, I mean, just hearing that, that's kind of silly to me because the last few Mortal Kombat games that I played, almost every devastating move they had the X-ray where you would
Hmm.
see the skull or the arm or the kneecap shatter. And if you're playing those games and you're loving it, and they show it in some kind of adaptation, I don't see why that would be a problem. So that just sounds silly to me.
I don't think it was a problem per se. If I understand, he was saying it is you. They just showed that kind of continues throughout the movie. And my point of view was, I could see where it was a bit repetitive. But I didn't mind it being repetitive.
But yeah,
Neither
that
did
that,
I.
that yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like in the game, it only happens when there are devastating moves.
Yeah,
Just like in the movie, it happened when there were devastating
no
moves.
segment. Yeah,
So
Hmm.
like over the course of an hour and 20 minutes, you're gonna show that quite a few times. It just kind of comes along with it. To me, that's like saying that Captain America threw his shield too many times. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
oh no, I've never said, I never even thought that, but he uses too much. I was like, damn, how the hell he does that shit? What I was saying, especially when he fought with the hammer and the shield. I'm like, that's that boy. He doing some shit I ain't never seen.
Hmm. Yeah, it definitely wasn't too much. I thought
Yeah,
it was a perfect blend. That showed that those moves that was happening were the devastating moves. Those were like the
yeah.
finishing moves.
I'm gonna t- I'm gonna tell you one of the best fights to me was when he woke up in hell and that sucker was trying to torture him, and he's like, "What is that? Are you praying? You praying to your God?" And then he's like, "I need no God." And man, when that sucker said that, oh my lord, that sucker. So I did not. I knew Scorpion was a badass, but this movie right here showed me a new level of badassness because I might play with him more. And when I play Mortal Kombat, I used to always play with Sub Zero. I might play with Scorpion more now. That sucker is doing some shit I ain't never seen.
Scorpion was always my character, man. Scorpion was from Mortal Kombat 1. It was always Scorpion. There were a few of them where they changed his moves and he wasn't as good, so I didn't really use him. But the ones where he was, yeah, Scorpion was my go-to.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, if they are Mortal Kombat characters, they're all badass.
Hmm.
Anyone that's doing the fighting, some characters I like more than others, but it's kind of like when I was, practicing martial arts back in the day. As far as I was concerned, anyone in my dojo or from another dojo, they were all badass. Like, period. It was just that automatic respect because we're all fighting, we're learning how to fight. So that's kind of how I look at those types of characters.
Hmm. Cool.
Did y'all like the fact that this movie made kind of showed Scorpion in a different light? Because usually he's portrayed as evil on this in this particular show. Well, we see how they did him in if you remember watching the YouTube show they had on the YouTube Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of this is very similar. It kind of shows him in his village life, and we knew that Quan Chi was always behind it. That he impersonated Sub Zero, and later on down the road, Scorpion finds out what happened, and then he kind of turns on Quan Chi. Um, did it in this particular movie? Did it seem were you rooting for did it feel strange rooting for Sub Zero, or did it come natural to you?
Well,
Um,
go
oh,
ahead,
go ahead.
Terrence.
No, I was gonna say that to me there was nothing strange about it. I mean, when it comes to Scorpion, that's pretty much been the case. Like anything that he does, it's like for a specific goal. It's just really a matter of if he's being controlled or not. As we saw in the movie, he had a specific goal, which was to avenge his family by any means necessary. And if that meant that he had to succumb to the powers of a sorcerer, then so be it. I feel like that's what any true determined person would do. It doesn't matter who extends the helping hand, you're going to take it if you want it bad enough. You're going to be about, the action and not so much about, what you say or what you think. So to me, it was very much Scorpion that I've played in the games and that I've seen from the different cutscenes. And, you just have really a certain focus point because any sort of Mortal Kombat adaptation that has come from Hollywood, like even the movies or Mortal Kombat Conquest, they've been very generic in their approach in the sense that you just have action pieces that happen to have Mortal Kombat characters in them. And to me, this just is Mortal Kombat. It didn't feel like something else that happened to have recognizable characters from a video game IP. So to me, this is the truer version of these characters than anything we've gotten before. And if you want to talk about the YouTube miniseries, that wasn't officially from Hollywood. Those were people that were gathered by respectable fans that wanted to make a pitch for what they wanted Hollywood to turn into a movie. That's how it originally started, before they went into the whole Mortal Kombat Legacy Season 2. So for me, cheering for Sub Zero, I was not doing that per se until you see Scorpion and Sub Zero fighting, but that's because the scene was badass. But my view of Scorpion and Sub Zero did not change. I still thought they were badass characters. You still had the confusing elements from the side of Sub Zero because he's just like, what's going on? Why is this guy mad at me? So it just all seemed very familiar to me.
Right. And me and Terrence actually had a conversation about that, And I've personally never seen Scorpion as like completely bad. He was either under a spell or he was looking to get revenge for something that happened to him, right? Now he did kill a lot of people, of course, and did what he needed to do. But like I said, I've played him for so long, so I've always knew that story of him trying to get revenge for what happened and how he ended up finding out it was Quan Chi and ended up going after him. So I definitely did not have a problem with the story at all. Like I think
Well,
to me, it was like as close to the video game as we've ever seen. Like there's nothing, none of the movies, none of the TV series or the internet web series compared to it. Like it was totally T to the game.
when I say cheering for him, I mean I'm referring to. I remember the cartoon, and it was questionable about Sub Zero's loyalties. I know in particular Sonya Blaze felt like Sub Zero couldn't be trusted, and in that cartoon, I think it played like 2 or 3 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. Sub Zero was always a bad guy, and it didn't seem like he was under control of Quan Chi. It just seemed like he had an extreme hatred just for the good guys. So that's what I was referring to, not necessarily. And then if
Um,
I remember correctly, the first movie, it never really Quan Chi was not on the first Mortal Kombat
Mm-mm.
live action. So all we saw was Sub Zero and both Scorpion working for Shang-Chi and like doing their bidding. Because
Well,
remember serves me correctly, Sub Zero fought Liu Kang, and I believe Scorpion fought Johnny
Johnny
Cage
Cage.
in that forest.
Hmm.
but see that's what I'm saying. Like the movies are not accurate. They just like place characters there randomly. You know, they take a little bit to sort of make it like it, but it's just sort of, but it's not really, you know, outside of what you can see. And as far as that cartoon goes, it was very short lived for a reason because it was awful. Like it kind of there were a lot of cartoons that came on around it, and to me it was the exact same thing as those other cartoons, but again, they just put Mortal Kombat characters in there. I was able to tell that there was no thought there. There was no real accuracy. It just seemed like they were just throwing stuff into the animation. And I'm like, stop doing that and make proper Mortal Kombat material.
Yeah, I don't think they could show proper Mortal Kombat material back then, so they had to water it down a lot back then to definitely get on one of the primetime channels. Now that we have these more adult channels, I can see them being a little bit more. And now we have Netflix and stuff like Hulu. But back in the
Well,
'90s, there's no way they could put the real Mortal Kombat that we want to see on a cartoon TV. It would never get picked
Yeah.
up.
that's my point. It shouldn't have been made into a corny cartoon show. You know, you should have
Well,
stuck to either a proper movie or you do something for HBO.
I
Those
see
should
what
be your only options.
I see what you're saying, but that that corny TV show could introduce fans to, oh, okay, I saw this show, or maybe not so much adult fans, but kid fans in particular. Oh, I see this Mortal Kombat cartoon. Maybe I'll check out the game. I don't know if that was their mindset, but I can see their logic in doing what they're doing.
That
But I
that
also
that
see what you say. I also see what you're saying too. But
Yeah,
at the end of
that
the
that probably
day,
was their mindset, Danny. But
yeah,
like
Hmm.
when I was a kid, almost every kid that I knew had a Mortal Kombat game. Like that was the thing. Like the kids were already exposed to it. Like even if they couldn't play it, they had an older brother or sister or their father was playing it. It was that popular. It was Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. You know, every
Hmm.
time you would go to the store, if you didn't get it when it came out, you had to wait weeks and stuff. You know, people would get their games from like Toys R Us and things of that sort back then, and you had lines of people just getting them, and sometimes multiple copies even back then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mortal Kombat and like the video game back then when it came out for the game system was extremely hard to get. If you didn't
yeah.
get that the first day, you weren't getting it, you know?
I can remember. I think it was PlayStation 2, maybe, or maybe 3. It was either 2 or 3. I mean, people were like camping out.
Hmm.
I mean, tents, sleeping bags. I'm like, and the store would only have like maybe 10,
Hmm.
10, 15 if you're lucky. And I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, now if you're in the back of this line, you know there ain't nowhere in hell you gonna get this damn game system. So why are you putting yourself through this crap on the hope that you might get? And
Well,
they pretty much tell you, uh, we only got like 15 or 20,
Hmm.
10 to 15. So I never understood that. Now it's not like that. Um, I guess the game systems have gotten smarter and they make more on the initial run than they did back then because they're seeing, I guess, some of the mistakes that they made by making limited number of game systems for PlayStation 2 and 3. But it's just crazy. I
well,
think now they're
from
working on this PlayStation 5, so I can only imagine what that's going to do.
from my experience, like I've stood in these lines maybe two or three times, not for myself, but you know I was with some friends and they wanted to get particular games, and I guess the longest line that I was in was maybe 60 humans. And,
Mhm.
you know, they had enough games for everyone in line. It was the extra people. Like everyone in line, they pre ordered the game. So the GameStop that we were at, they have, based on their pre order list, they have all those. But then they get a few extra copies. So the people that randomly showed up, the people that pre-ordered the game, they have to get theirs first, and then you can get yours if there are some left. But
Hmm.
how many ever people that we saw there they were already guaranteed to get their bundle pack, whether it was just a game or a game and a shirt, a game and a special controller, whatever so have you.
No, I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about the game system.
Oh, same difference. Like, I wasn't in a line for a gaming system,
I
but
was.
I have some friends that they wanted to get a certain console when it came out. Whether that be the PS3 or something else, and the same thing kind of worked in the sense that you pre-order and they have so many copies of that system in the back room. They're like, oh, and they're like, what's your name? My name is Tommy, whatever. Then they give you yours, and then you come up like, oh, hey, I'm Bob. Like, oh, are you on the list? No, I just showed up. They're like, okay, well, they'll tell you to go to the back of the line because this is for people that pre-ordered it.
Well, I was in the line for when the Wii first came out, right? I didn't pre-order it or anything. Like we were just trying to get one for Christmas for my kid, and I was in line. I had to wake up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Went to Toys R Us. I was standing outside there. There was like maybe 50 people out there, and they only had like 10 consoles.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I've never seen them. They may have it where you at, but where I'm at, they're gonna have about 15. If they're lucky, you might get 18. And
Mm.
I didn't think you could pre-order the game systems. I know you can pre-order the games or the movies, but the systems is like whatever that truck, whatever the roll of dice. I remember one of my buddies, man, I had to go to a neighboring town for training. And he's like, man, you stop by such and such. Here's the card, man. And back then, them things was like $600-700 when they first
Mhm.
came out. I
Mhm.
was like, you gonna pay $600 for a gaming system, and this shit gonna be like half that in 6 to 8 months? So no.
Well,
In fact, man, I got a PlayStation 4 just last year. I paid $140 for it. I felt smart as hell. 'Cause I know when they first came out, them things was through the roof.
A brand new PlayStation 4 you
I
paid
got a
100?
brand new PlayStation 4 for $140. A
Okay.
friend of
see,
mine got tired of his and said, "Hey," I said, man, I ain't paying no more. I'll give you about
Okay,
140.
that's
He was
fine.
like, he like, so I said,
Okay.
and I got it right
it,
now in my bedroom, and I very seldom play it now.
it does depend on where you are, but out here in California where I am, they like having just only the 15 or 10 would be absolutely ridiculous. Like the GameStop up the street from my house, because there are a lot of houses where I am up the street from the store. There is
Hmm.
no way that they would just have a small number like that because you're literally talking about people could just walk out of their house and be to the store in less than 10 minutes, and they're going to be
Yeah.
there. That's
Mhm.
not including
Well,
anyone else that comes from the other side. So they're going to
yeah.
have a certain amount.
I'm sure they had a large number. Like you said, you live in California. So I live on the East Coast in South Carolina, and uh, your the people in your state probably almost triple what's in mine. I don't even know what the population is, but in these little small towns where I stay at, they had a Walmart. They got a Walmart where in the town I live in and neighboring town. So between them two, you might be got 30, 35. And then the next biggest town is about 45 minutes away. That one probably have maybe 25 or 30, but it got three Walmarts in that town. So between them three Walmarts, you might have 60. But I mean, that's about it. Then, of course, you go to
Right,
Myrtle
right.
Beach, that's an hour away. And they got several malls and Walmarts in that town. So in that town, you might have 100 something, but you got to realize everybody and their mama is going to these Walmarts, GameStops, uh,
Mhm.
whatever other gaming system that sells Toys R Us. So in the whole state, if I had to guess, there might be 4,000 in the whole state.
See, like it, whenever it comes to things that I want to do, mostly going to see movies, I make sure that because I mean the most humans that I ever went to the movies with would be, including myself, would be 16. So it would be me and 15 of my friends. We take up like multiple roles and stuff like that. But the problem with that is that everyone's schedule has to be right. No one's job can get in the way and all this crazy crap. So normally, if I want to see something and I want to see it right away, and I don't want to have to worry about humans and their problems, I'll call up one or two of my friends that I know for sure want to see it as badly and as quickly as I do, and most of the time that is comic book based movies, we're monitoring when the movie's going to come out. So, the trailers, when they're like tickets available now, we get it right away. So that'd be a month or 2 months or more before it comes out to ensure that we can get the Dolby Cinema or the IMAX and stuff like that. We want to see it in the best kind of quality, and you cannot wait to do that. Like some individuals are like, well, I'll just wait to the weekend or whatever. I'm like, well, we
Mm-hmm.
don't want to do that. We want to see it right away. Like if we're
Mm-hmm.
trying to get the best quality viewing, there is no you wait till the weekend. You're not gonna be able to get that, or it's gonna be hard, or you're not gonna get the seats that you want. You're not gonna get the showtime that you want. So it does depend on how
So y'all
much stuff
have
are
like
prepared.
reserved seats at your theaters?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the theaters out here in California that I've been to,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's IMAX, Dolby Cinema, Standard, 3D, IMAX 3D, like they're all reserved seating. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter which
So
format.
they
So
got numbers on the seats.
Mm-hmm.
So
correct,
you,
yeah,
so you
like
may be in row A, seat 6 or
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No, we
right.
don't have
They
that.
show
We
you.
don't have that here.
In any of
It's
your theaters?
uh, well, and where I'm at, it's like your ass better get there first, get in line.
Oh,
That's
that
how
Okay.
that's how it
like
used to be over here, but no, hell no.
no,
Like, see,
no.
because
We still live in caveman time where I'm at.
You can,
see,
you can't pre-order your tickets?
We can pre-order them, but what I do, like if like when Endgame came out, I went like a week ahead. Like
Mm-hmm.
say Endgame come out this Friday, I
Mm-hmm.
went last Friday and got my tickets. I always want to catch the first show after I get off work, which is about maybe the 6 o'clock show.
Mm-hmm.
So I get off work early, then I would get to the theater probably about 45 minutes to an hour early, so I could go ahead and get my popcorn or whatever I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
do, and then I want an end seat up high, what I want. So I always get there early enough where I can get it, or if I can't get that, I want a middle seat down low.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my two choices.
see
So
that, but
that's
the reason why they got rid of that to a large degree is that number one, they can oversell the tickets. Like we had situations where they would still sell people tickets to that particular theater room, and all the seats were
mhm.
taken, and you had some people sitting on the steps. That is a problem in case there's a fire, and you got to like step over humans and stuff. So with the reserved seating, they can specifically monitor the seats and how many there are, and they're like, oh, they're gone, and they'll tell you it's sold out. So like they'll always show us there's a screen. They'll, you go, oh, okay, I want
Mm-hmm.
this format at this time, and then they'll show you the screen, and then the ones that are blacked out are taken, and then they will show you the ones that are available, and then you choose from there. And then once you do that, you can show up an hour early or 45. It depends on when they start cleaning, because sometimes you can go in that early, and sometimes you
Mm-hmm.
can't. You have to kind of wait outside the door. But like
Mm-hmm.
whether you want to come early or you come right before the movie starts, you're fine because you have assigned seats. And if
Mm-hmm.
like you get there and there's some fucking humans in your seat, you could be like, "Look, dirtbag, get out of my fucking seat."
Mm-hmm.
And then if they're like, they pull that human shit and got an attitude, you can go like, "All right, look, I don't want to snap your neck, so I'm gonna go get the security right quick." And you let them know, like, "Hey, scumbag is in seat A1 and A2," and then they're gonna, "Hey, you got to get the fuck up," and then you're good.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
could
we
see
have.
advantages to that, but that right there, that's confrontation. I ain't.
No, most people when they, because I've had that. Like I went to the theater. What didn't happen to me, but I watched these two guys. I guess they tried to sneak in, and they were sitting in somebody's seat, and guys came up and said, "Those are my seats," and they moved. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
always confrontational, but I understand how it could be. But once you paid for your tickets, there's nothing they can do. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
you got your number on your seat. You know, I can go on my app as soon as the tickets go on sale. Go on my app, buy my tickets on app. I don't even have to go to the theater until the day.
That's right. Yeah, like
Well, that's I mean that's cool. I mean, I'll be lying if I say I wish we wouldn't mind if we had it. Only thing we got now, we don't. We can go to we got a kiosk, so you can just go up there and swipe your card, pick whatever movie, and it prints ticket out. You don't have to wait in line. I like that aspect of it, which I never used before, but I've seen people do it. But if it's something that I really want to see, then I always go a week before. get my
Man,
tickets. So
think
I ain't trying to hear nothing about we sold out or nothing like going to a theater and you look at the window and it got sold out. I'm like, what the
see,
f?
That's why you supposed to. You got to pay attention. I'm like those situations I've experienced a couple times. I was like, never again, and it's never happened since.
Oh,
It's like
if it's something big, like I tell you, I go the week before.
Mm-hmm.
In
that
game, I went the week before
that
because
for
it's not a fever pitch like it is in California. Okay.
Or
yeah,
here,
that's too late over in California. Like
here too.
there is no way that I'm gonna wait the week before over here to
Mm-hmm.
see a comic book movie. That's the worst thing you can do because
Mm.
like again, there's a possibility you go on, the Friday or whatever, and you can get later show times. Like they're not going to necessarily
Mm-hmm.
all be gone, but
Mm-hmm.
again, if you're trying to do that IMAX or something, you better get that shit like a month before. Like as soon as that trailer says tickets available now,
Mm-hmm.
just picture when you're like, oh, I'll wait a little bit. There's people that aren't going to wait, and each time that you do that, all the 24 hours and 48 hours that go by, there's people buying those, and not only are they buying them, they're buying it for their friends.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking their family. They're getting these large chunks of tickets, so that will go away so quickly. So yeah, I like that I can get them very quickly. Like with Fast 9, it's a little different now because we got fucked over. Hopefully they'll be able to fix that. But like I had my ticket before the trailer dropped because I was watching that Fast and Furious event where they had different musicians that have made music throughout the franchise. They're all performing, and they're like the tickets are going to go on sale once the concert has concluded. And then once the lady went into the crowd and she was asking people questions like, "Who's your favorite character? What's your favorite moment?" All this other stuff. She was like, "Tickets available now." Me and my friend, I called my friend, get the tickets now. I was like, "Yep, here's the money." Blah blah. And then we did that in less than 5 minutes. And then like maybe 10 minutes after that, then that's when they dropped the trailer. So that was actually the only time that I've purchased tickets before the trailer dropped because I already knew that the tickets were going to go fast because it's Fast and the Furious. I'm like, there ain't no waiting. It's right away or fail moment. So um, the fanciest theater that I've been to over here, there's a few of them actually. There was one where they had these nice leather seats, and they come in and take your order. You get to like they have like burritos and burgers and steaks and all kinds of
Mm-hmm.
crazy ass shit on that menu. I was like, damn, they even got the buttons on the seat where you could like you can extend your feet and shit. I was like, man, what the fuck? This shit is too comfortable. I'm trying to go to sleep in this motherfucker. So, but
Damn.
it was a good experience though. And like when you order your food, their
And how
timing.
much? And how much is that?
Oh, shit. Let's see. The regular, like if we go to like a regular theater, let's say we get a standard show time and one apiece. That'd be like maybe 15 something. With that particular one, I think it was just slightly more than 20. Because like IMAX and Dolby Cinema per person is $20.
Mm-hmm.
So that one was a little bit more because of
Man,
not
y'all
only
crazy.
not only
Uh,
because of the screen and the speakers, but because of the you got the leather seats and you got the in service. Like when you order your food, when the movie's about to start, they come and bring your food to you, and you have these special trays and shit. So
mhm.
yeah, it's very fucking fancy. But I don't really go to that one that often. But a lot of times for certain movies like comic books and action, I will do IMAX. So within the span of 2 months, I could be spending upwards of $100, like depending on how
Mhm.
many movies are coming out back
Mhm.
to back. But
Any Marvel movie or Star Wars movie, I have always seen in IMAX. $20 a ticket, me and my son. Right,
yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's
I mean,
it's, it's
I
expensive.
try to, but I mean, like it. My thing is like I just want to see the movie. But usually when it's like smaller numbers, when I'm with a couple of friends, we'll do
Hmm.
IMAX. But if it's like those huge groups, then we tend to do like the standard ones just because. But I'm just like, hey, as long as I
Man,
get to see it
our movies
fast.
cost $10.50 over here.
What? I get $10 on a Tuesday.
Ten
And
dollars and
what is the
50 cents.
quality like, Danny? Because
It's it's a big screen. I have no
okay,
complaint.
well, okay,
The
well I'll tell
sound
you
the
this.
sound is great. The
I will
theater
tell you.
holds about 150, maybe 200 people.
Okay. Like I'm gonna say this. There's a theater in Palos Verdes, and they have a big screen and all that stuff. And because I've been to, good theaters, I can tell that number one, the sound is not as good. The picture
Oh
is
my lord!
atrocious in comparison. Like there's nothing
and
like being able to make comparisons. If
and it's
if you don't
true.
know, then it doesn't matter. But if you do, then you're gonna be like, what the fuck kind of grainy ass shit is this?
And he's absolutely right because we had bought tickets for Rise of Skywalker and we couldn't get it for the first day. But we went to a cheaper theater to watch it on the first day, and then the next day we seen it in IMAX and we saw such a difference, man. Like you could just tell it was night and day, you know what I
No,
mean?
what it is, y'all too about all that damn trigonometry shit. I done told you about trigonometry. I'm basic math.
I
See,
gotta
no,
see
I
it.
don't. I don't want no basic ass experience. I want the
We
Me
best
see
of the
neither.
best.
we
Me
seen the
neither.
exact same movie and we talk about the exact same thing.
No,
So
no,
what
no,
you
no,
want to
no,
say
no,
about
no.
that?
You, you,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you're,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
right,
yeah,
Benny. But let me tell you this: there's a difference when you got Cap
Oh,
doing his shit with Mjolnir and Basic, and when you got that shit
I
in
seen that.
IMAX.
I seen that.
Whoa, man, that is like,
All us
yeah.
whew,
jump up and say,
Mhm.
yeah, the same way.
But
Cheap
when you
ass.
see it in
it is.
when you see it in IMAX, Danny, though, like honestly, like there's so much of a difference. When you see it in IMAX, you're gonna be like, "Holy shit!" You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's just
Oh,
different.
yeah,
It's just
exactly,
Yeah,
different,
exactly
it's
what
different.
Jason
Danny.
is
It's
saying.
different.
Or
It's $10 different. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
and,
No.
and or if you get the like with the Dolby theaters, like what I like about it is, you got the leather seats, they got
Hmm.
speakers, they got a bunch of speakers on the wall, and
Last
it's
time I
like
checked, about going to see the movie, it ain't say nothing about comfort. It said you going to see the movie. So I'm going to see the movie. Them chairs, them cushion chairs they got, that's good enough for me. I pop my foot up on the other person's chair in front of me. I'm comfortable. I ain't gonna
well,
have
see,
no
you
leather
can't you can't you
chair.
can't do that in Dolby because they got number one, the way the room is designed is the chairs are actually spaced apart.
Hmm.
So if you're
Hmm.
gonna put your feet up, it's probably gonna be on a bar that's in front of
Hmm.
you. But even
Hmm.
then, you won't need to because your seats can extend, so there's no need for that.
Yeah, you got a lot of space, man. You got a
A
lot of
hell
space
of a
to
lot
kick
of
out your
space.
feet, and you know what I mean. And yeah, man, it's
Yeah,
it's just a different experience, man.
Mm-mm.
very different. They got the
The
lights on the ground that are
sound,
blue and
I,
shit.
I
Oh
I ain't
man.
never gonna experience it then.
Yes, you
and
will,
I'm
because I'm gonna send you money to go and some free ass tickets. Like,
I'm gonna
and
use
I'm
that. I'm gonna use that money to get me some nachos. That's what nachos. What I always get, I get the nachos and the either the blue raspberry or either the Coca-Cola icy. That's what I get.
oh
and
hell
how
no,
much does
that'll
that
put you
cost
in
you?
debt.
Now the food probably more than it's like 10.50 to get in. It used
Hmm.
if I go a certain place, if I just flash my hardware, then it's free. But usually, if I don't, it's 10.50, and then if I get a soda, that's probably about $5. And if I get nachos, it's probably like another $7.
Yeah, if I
Okay,
if
so
I flash my hardware too, I can get in for free.
No,
I
no,
don't
no,
give
no.
a
I ain't
fuck.
talking about that hardware. I'm talking about the little hardware that goes up here.
so Danny,
Exactly, the fist that goes in the face.
No,
Like,
no, 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 no. You talking about going to jail?
our
how they
combos here,
gonna go to
Danny.
jail when they?
And I was just gonna say our combos here, Danny. Nachos and a drink, $20 and like 50
What?
cents.
Shit!
Danny,
I have, I have,
Jason is
I have,
right.
I have a backpack on my back. This is a true story. I'm about
Jason,
to tell you. I
Jason
li-
is right. Danny, you will be put into fucking debt. Like these humans that's coming up there with their kids and their girl and shit. I'm like, by the time
Mm-hmm.
they leave, they didn't spent like $300 fucking.
Yep.
And they and
man,
they and they talking about, oh, we haven't gone to dinner. I'm like, and that popcorn and nachos wasn't your fucking dinner. Like,
shit. There's just when I lived in California, I was stationed on Camp Pendleton, and there was I already told you about this Mexican restaurant in California. It's called Alberto's. So we go to the theater. Me and my date, we stop at Alberto's. We get two Kanya Sala burritos. She put them in her pocketbook, and we stop by and get a soda. She put them in the pocketbook. I pay for the movie going there. The movie getting there about 10 minutes and it start getting loud. And that she pass me mine. And times we take about 2 or 3 bites, some food say, somebody here eat some Albertos. I smell a Kanye burrito. Oh shit! What the hell y'all talking? So man, $20 for nachos and a drink.
Yeah.
I guarantee
You
you,
see, it's okay though,
my
man.
wife be
Sometimes
sneaking
people
food
bring
in
their
every.
food.
My wife be sneaking in food every time we go. I guarantee you.
That's
I
what I'm
ain't.
saying. Like, you can either go into debt or you could bring your own food, man. Like one
I'm be
time,
sneaking some food in. I can tell you that right now, buddy.
we've done that plenty of times.
Me
One
too.
time, me and my boys, we fucking snuck in and out. We had the burgers and the fucking fries. Like my friend, he had his backpack. We rolled up in there, had a full in and out meal. People was like, damn, what the fuck? Because it's smelling like in and out in there, and they don't sell that shit. So,
Uh huh.
but it was just funny though. It just made the experience. I'm like, yo, we got a full ass meal, and we didn't
Mm-hmm.
go into debt. They're talking about, oh, it's gonna be $6.97 for a hot dog. I'm like, does that come with a girl? Why the fuck is that so expensive? Like, what the hell
For
are
a
we
hot
doing?
dog, I bet you
Hmm.
they ain't got
Yeah.
no chili. It's just a bun and the dog, ain't it? With
Well, here's the
ketchup
thing.
mustard.
Well, you
Yeah.
see, when you buy the hot dog, you it come with the bun. It got this nice shiny package, and then you can go over to the side. You can add the
The
mustard, the
condiments and
ketchup,
Hmm.
the
stuff.
chili. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So, um, yeah, that's ridiculous because I can go to the store for that much and get 20 of them motherfuckers
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
15
Hmm.
bucks.
Yeah. Our
So
hot dogs
Yeah.
over here are like $10 a hot for
And
one hot dog.
don't get a big pop. If you get that big tub of popcorn, oh my god, man, that's like $10 by itself.
Hmm. We have a
that 10
combo
bucks,
two.
shit.
We have a combo two popcorns and two drinks. I think it's like 28.50 or something like that plus taxes.
Shit. Hell no. Hell no. Boy, I be
Yeah.
hungry. I eat good if I go in there.
So,
Yeah.
all
Because
right,
I
so
made a purpose when I went to see Endgame, man. I said, I am not drinking or eating nothing because I'm not going to use the bathroom. And shit, the time is Tony and Cat went back in time, I had to use it. So I
Me
missed
too.
that. I
I
missed
didn't
that the
have to use
first
the
time.
bathroom at all. Hell no.
Me
Like
too.
I already had a conversation with my body. I was like, I will fuck your ass up if we have to use the bathroom. I didn't have to use the
Yeah.
bathroom. I was good.
When you get over 40, that conversation, your body says,
Yeah, yeah.
fuck you.
So fuck that. Fuck you.
Right?
Let's go.
You
See,
know what I
see
mean?
It's like
Yeah.
you
see,
let's go or you gonna be embarrassed.
see that,
Exactly.
that that's what it think is gonna do. But nah, like I'm gonna make
Okay.
sure about no, we ain't missing nothing. We gonna stay. It's only 3 hours, and that is it.
Yeah, I missed that part. I
Hmm.
made it fast, but I missed about 2 minutes of it. Yeah, shit. The second
Me
time, then I
too.
made sure I went to the bathroom at a different time, so I caught everything.
Make it
Me too. I,
fast. I'd be like, man, I would have went to the near part of the theater where it says exit. I'd have pissed on that door and came back in because at least I could still see the screen. That's how I would
Damn,
do.
boy, you hell.
you see, our IMAX, once you walk out the door, the bathroom was right there. So I just run out the door, go to the bathroom, and come right back in. So it was good.
You
It
know what's
wasn't too
funny
far.
about that, Jason? Like, this one theater I went to, we go in and we're watching the movie, and we had to like look for the bathroom. I mean, search. It was like fucking Mission Impossible. Like, I had the theme playing in my mind. Doom, doom,
Dun,
doom. Where is
dun,
this
dun,
shit? I'm like,
dun,
no.
dun, 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 dun.
Yep.
Oh,
So then we had to go around the corner. There was another corner, and then the bathroom was there. I was like, we would have went to that end part of the theater around that corner before we even realized that shit. That would have been like
Hmm.
10 minutes of the movie that
Hmm.
we would have missed. Like,
yeah. Speaking of that, man, I watched that yesterday. Mission Impossible, Ghost Recall. I mean, Ghost Protocol. And I can't think of the other one.
oh, you talking about Fallout?
I don't think it was Fallout. It was something else. Ghost Protocol.
Rogue
And something.
Nation?
Yeah, that's it. Rogue
Hmm.
Nation and Ghost Protocol. Yeah.
But
But
so yeah,
let's get go
so
ahead.
so yeah, the top five scenes with the
Top five scenes. Okay.
Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
My number well one of those five I'm gonna say is like when he first got to hell, he was talking to that guy trying to talk about I'm gonna torture you forever and all this kind of stuff. The way he messed him up, that shit was fire. Um I like when Goro was fighting Jax and man just kinda like pull off his damn arm. I'm like, damn, this sucker, you fucking him up. Boy, you pulled both his arms off.
Hmm.
Um Third probably be kind of continuation of that where well really a fight, but it was just a moment. It was like where Raiden kind of cauterized Jax's wounds, and while he was tending to Jax, Goro tried to attack him from the back. He kind of like did a little quick flip move, and Goro's all fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 would be the fight scene between Quan Chi and Scorpion. That was hell. And then number 5 would be just Scorpion fighting that whole village at the beginning of the movie. But
Good.
overall, all the fight scenes were fire to me. The only fight scene I thought was just a waste of time was Liu Kang and Katana.
Mm. Yeah, I could see that. They couldn't make them fight because they end up being friends and stuff, so they had to find some way, you know. But I think that, and I don't think they wanted to give Liu Kang a big fight until the end, right? So they did that. But yeah. So mine are, well, I have a few, man. Like, you completely reminded me of the Quan Chi. I didn't even put that on there, so I'd have to switch it up a bit. But I have a few honorable mentions, which is I liked all the Easter eggs that they showed in there, right? So you could see some other characters that they had, like the vampire bat that Johnny Cage was talking to. They did the test your might part where they were trying to hit the hammer, the anvil. Um, my other honorable mention would be Scorpion and Quan Chi at the beginning, though, the first fight where Scorpion was trying to rush him and Quan Chi was like, this is my world, you know, and twisted him up.
You think I am? How you said it? He said, "You think I am?"
Defenseless or
Yeah,
something like that.
defenseless.
Yeah. In my realm, he's like, no, sir. Number 5 is definitely with Jack's arms because I actually like the way they explained how he loses his arms. It's different from the game, but the way they did it was perfect for me. Like, I was like, yes. And then number 2, we'll see him with the arms, so that will be good. 4, I'm gonna say, would be Liu Kang and Goro. I like that fight. Again, like when I watch these fights, I like to see the moves that they do in the games. So Liu
Yeah.
Kang did a
He
lot
did
of
that
his
little
moves in that.
dragon kick, but that
He did
shit
his
was
dragon
hell.
kick, and then he did the bicycle kick, and he's like, just kicking him in the chest. So that was definitely one for me. Number 3 is definitely when Johnny Cage helped Sonya. You said you didn't see the balls punch, but I saw that he comes in, you know, and through the whole thing, it's like we all know Johnny Cage could fight, but they don't know it in the show. So when he fights and he comes and he does all his moves, I like that. I would have liked to have seen the flash kick or maybe a fireball, like you said, but the nut punch was good for me. Number 2 is definitely Sonya and Reptile. I love that fight, man. Just the way it starts off where Reptile's invisible and he's just punching Sonya, and then she finds out that it's him, and the way she finishes him is exactly one of her brutalities in the game. Like, she does her bicycle kick and then she jumps over you and grabs the rope and chokes you. So that was like a perfect Easter egg for me. I loved seeing that. And the first one is number 1 is Scorpion and Sub-Zero. For me, I like that fight because they showed Scorpion do his ice. Sub-Zero do his ice. Scorpion did his spear, and at one point, Sub-Zero does the ice sculpture, which is in the game. You can someone jumps at you, you do the ice sculpture, and you freeze them. So when he did that, I was like, yes. And then the final part where he kills him is the pit from number 1. So that fight scene was just perfect for me. That was my number 1.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, really good.
Terrence, you there?
Yeah. So this is not really in any particular order, but these would be the 5 scenes that I really like, even though I enjoyed the whole movie. One of which would be in the beginning when you see the Scorpion taking on the fire ants, and Scorpion was talking to his son about being strong physically and mentally, and just being a warrior, and that resonates with me because man, it's just so many weak humans around me, Danny. It is just ridiculous. Like it just, and I've always been very big on strength is something that is either taught or you have to learn it. The same thing really goes for weakness as well. So when you ingrain that in your kids at a young age, then they already have in their mind that the only way to go through life is to be a beast, that you shouldn't want to be anything else. So I really like that scene. And it also like spoke to the character of Scorpion himself, to want to pass that on to his children. So I really like that. Um, the scene um, where you see Scorpion wrecking everybody after he discovers that his people were slaughtered and they took his girl from him. I thought that was great because there's a difference between someone that says, yeah, if this happens, I'm gonna do this, and if they take this person from me, I'm gonna do this. But most humans wouldn't do that. They're just talking, and they probably be really mad at first, but then they call the cops or whatever. They're not gonna actually go out there and slaughter people. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of it has to do with they have emotions, they have morals, and more importantly, they're not physically capable of doing that. They get their fucking asses whooped or they get killed or something. So he's someone that actually did that, and it was quick. As soon as they stepped in, it was slaughter. Even the
Mm-hmm.
ones that were running away, he still killed them.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that because what I don't like is when you have these characters where when someone is begging for forgiveness or they're running away, they decide to spare them. And I'm just like, you should never do that. I would never do that because you weren't acting like that when you slaughtered my fucking family. So why
Mm-hmm.
should I just spare you now because you're running away or whatever? So I like that showed a lot of Scorpion's principles that just before that he was teaching to his son about being a beast and being strong. Your
Mm-hmm.
ability to end someone's life does have to do with strength, because again,
Absolutely.
a lot of people would be very hesitant, they're very finicky. Scorpion just right off the bat. So I really like that. Um I liked any of the scenes where Raiden was talking to Liu Kang, the dialogue of, making sure that he was ready, preparing him, I feel is very important because even if
Mm-hmm.
someone has a lot of potential, they still have to have training, they still have to have the right sort of guidance. That way they can live up to whatever their full potential may be. And, that kind of, gave me the chills because I already know all of Liu Kang's accomplishments, from where he
Mm-hmm.
started and what he ends up being and him defeating Shao Kahn and just everything in between. I'm like, he's one of those people where he's going to grow to be great. And there aren't a lot of fighters in that universe that could compare to him on a potential level, just how much he consistently improves. So I like that. And then when Scorpion was in the Nether Realm, and when that creature was like, yeah, yeah, pray to whatever God, and he's like, I need no God. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's something that not only I've said, but it's like a way of thinking that I've had for like, I don't know, the last 17 years. Like every time there's the whole like, oh, that was a miracle, or you should pray on it. I'm like, I'm not doing none of that shit because I could just do it myself. Like I've always been big on like you have to do stuff yourself. There's not to be a prayer or any sort of wish that you can make that will make it happen. And there's no proof that when something happens that it is based off of any of that crap. But what is if you do something, when you make choices, life comes down to a series of choices, and when you make the choice to do something, that eclipses everything else that's theoretical because now there's actuality to it. So I very much like that Scorpion's strength comes from nowhere but himself, like legitimate true strength that is unwavering and isn't based on anything again but himself. So I like that scene. Um, and then I'll probably go with yeah, because Sonya, she has a lot of scenes that I like, but I'll probably go with when Sonya, when you see kind of her origins, you see that her training and her willpower to be the best and to even be better than men. The reason why I like that is because number one, I love a badass woman, like any sort of exceptional woman where she's really, really smart or she can just kick ass. Anytime that you have a female that trains with the guys that wants to be treated like the guys. I respect that because she's a character where she's not just all talk. She's not trying to act tougher than she is. She uses her mouth as manipulation. It's like, no, this is legitimately a strong, powerful woman, and I like that they showed that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
She was definitely my second favorite character in that.
oh yeah, absolutely. So like, I'm like, yeah, that was dope. I like that. And then, man, I guess, how many was that? 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so number 1, that's probably gonna be. Might have to think about that for a second because too many damn scenes.
I know.
Let's see. Probably go with. Uh, I think when Scorpion when he dealt with Quan Chi, I
Mm-hmm.
felt that was cool because it's nothing like when somebody fucks you over and lies to you and you can get revenge. Because for me personally, uh, throughout my entire life, I've dealt with bullies and people that talk shit, and it's like when I got to the position of where I could just easily snap people's necks and stuff like that, and it's like, now granted, I haven't like killed anyone or anything like that, but
Mm-hmm.
I have physically dealt with a couple of those people, and there was nothing more gratifying than like you you are not as powerful as you think you are. Let me show you what real power is. And I thought that was dope because Quan Chi was just on the whole, I'm gonna talk all the shit in the book and then make a new book and talk more shit. That was Quan Chi.
Mm-hmm.
So when Scorpion handed him his ass times 10, I thought that was just a very gratifying moment because it was something that I wanted to happen. I'm like, before this movie ends, he needs to at least backhand Quan Chi real quick. Just give him one good shot. And when he did that, get over here. Like, yo, when that
Mm-hmm.
shit happened, I got yanked out of my seat.
Mm-hmm.
Like Scorpion was
Mm-hmm.
grabbing me. Like I was in the
Mm-hmm.
moment, and
Mm-hmm.
I probably shouldn't have jumped out of my seat because I hit my neck on the ground. It didn't really feel good, but I was in the moment, so it was like I was kind of reactionary to the move itself. Um, but yeah, so there was that, and then any sort of honorable mentions with Johnny Cage showing Sonya that he can fight. I was just like, because
Mm-hmm.
I knew he could fight, and there's just something about Johnny Cage. Because I'm like, look, number one, this dude is just swole as fuck. So I'm like, he definitely does some sort of physical training because you're just not gonna look like that naturally without doing something. So I'm like, obviously, there's something to this dude. He just needs a particular moment. Like he's that kind of person where he needs a moment to let loose. And when that moment happened, the Johnny Cage just went off and he was just floating through the air like he's like, man,
Mm-hmm.
fuck gravity, fuck physics. I'm Johnny Cage, and he was just fucking them up. And I'm like, that was great. And last honorable mention would be when Raiden, when he just like zaps Goro, like sit your ass down. Like to me, there's nothing more beast than a character that's as calm as Raiden, and he just fucks somebody up. Like I'm very big on how you carry yourself,
Mm-hmm.
your demeanor. It should always be turned on. Now, basic humans will say shit like, you gotta let your guard down. You can't have your walls up all the time. You need to relax, all that shit, right? However, you can still have your walls up and be relaxed. It's called discipline. You have to be trained to do that. So you can have someone like Raiden, he has his walls up, but he's Raiden. Like he's always ready to fuck somebody up or just react. So I thought that was a good scene to show that, especially for people that may not know how beast Raiden is. Like for
Mm-hmm.
you to just do that quickly to Goro, you will no longer question how beast he is because we saw
Mm-hmm.
that Goro he just was wrecking people for like 500 years and shit and ripping off Jax's arms and he was even beating the fuck out of Liu Kang for a cool minute. Like
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think that if they would have continued, Liu Kang would have found a way to beat him, but it just probably would have lasted a little bit longer. But there's nothing like somebody again just dealing with somebody like Goro in just the blink of an eye. Like sit your ass down. Like don't you. I should kill you for even thinking about thinking you could take me out. So like yeah, so that's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, the whole movie though, man, I I was like, this how you make Mortal Kombat.
For real
This how
though.
you do it right here. There's no man like you make it. You make it for the fans, and that's what you need to do. And people that see it in its raw form, they either accept it or they don't. I don't like when they water stuff down or they try to do mass appeal. Mass appeal is smart for the sake of business, because you want to make money. That's the smart thing to do. But in the long run, you might kick your feet up one day and go, damn, like, did we really give it our best shot or did we just do some shit to make money? And you just kind of have that hole in your heart, like, man, we could have made this shit so much better if we weren't focused on Johnny and his fucking grandma liking the movie. Just saying.
I agree, man. Most of these studios, they know when they're putting out a dud anyways, you know what I mean? So when you stay true to it and you see the reaction that people are having right now, because I haven't heard anybody say they did not like this movie. Like nobody. And if you didn't like this movie, you're not a Mortal Kombat fan.
Yeah, it's like I haven't heard. It's like, as long as you can get the majority, then you
Hmm.
succeed. Because
Hmm.
you can't make everybody happy, but if you get most of them, you good. And probably more important than all of that, like me, like say if I were a director or whatever, am I happy with what I made, right? Because if I'm happy and I feel good about it, I feel like nothing can ever counteract that, even everyone else's opinions. Now,
Hmm.
naturally, you would want them to like it as much as you, but at the same time, you should always feel good about your work. And the way that you can feel good about it is if you know that you did right by the people that like that material to begin with.
Absolutely. All I'll say is that like you guys have me thinking about different spots, and except for like my number 1 and 2, like any other number could have been changed out for something you guys said. The snap with Goro, the Quan Chi fight with Scorpion at the end. Like for me, it's just like I'm sitting here and I'm like, yo, I forgot about that. That's right. That was a good part too.
That,
So
yeah, and that's good that you feel like that because then it's just the whole expression. You know what, man? This is a toss up. All that shit is good. You can easily
hmm
interchange that for this and that. That's how
hmm
you know when you have an all around great movie when you could just interchange scenes like that versus um like the other Mortal Kombat movies. I'm like, they're not good. They're not good movies. But it's like they have a couple of moments. There might be that fight there that you like, or maybe
hmm
that little phrase there that you like. Those are $500 sunglasses, asshole. Like there might be some chuckle moments, but
hmm
overall, it's just a very poor product. Comparison to this, again, it's like, man, you got all kinds of scenes for days, man. Like,
hmm
Warner Brothers again is far superior than Marvel is in when it comes to their animation division. I was just looking just now to see the upcoming DC animated movies in this year. One we already seen Superman Red Sun. I think here next month will be Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. I'm ready to see that. That looks like it'll be pretty good.
uh, Danny, I should say that you should try to watch the first Justice League Dark if you have it.
And which one is that? What's the name of it?
It's called Justice League Dark.
Okay.
When did that come out?
Oh, few years ago. It's
I
been a
never.
minute. That's the one where the you have you have John Constantine, you have Zatanna, you have Swamp Thing, and you have Deadman. That's the core Justice League Dark group. And the story is that there's something going on as to where the humans around the world are seeing things that are not there. Like say Bobby Totem comes home and he's expecting to see his wife and kids in the kitchen, but he's seeing aliens and he's freaking out and he's wrecking their shit only to realize that he just murdered his whole family. And this is like happening everywhere. And the league is just like these people have like no past criminal records. It just seems random. And Batman is just like, oh shit. All right, yeah, I gotta go find Constantine. There's gotta be some supernatural shit going on. So that's when they get implemented to deal with the problem. And then you watch the movie and there's a very big problem. So yeah,
Uh,
Check it out.
um, third movie coming out is called Superman: Man of Tomorrow.
Nice.
I'm not sure when that's coming out, but what I really want to see the fourth movie is coming out is The Long Halloween.
Oh yeah, that is one of the best storylines that I've ever read. Like period. Like that storyline is it's basically Godfather mixed with Batman. That's what it is. You have a mystery going on where Batman is utilizing the greatest detective ever skills, and he's trying to figure out who this killer is, and this killer is murdering people on every single holiday known to man. But then it's like this big mystery. It's like, okay, who's the killer and why? Is there more than one killer? Like it just there's all kinds of stuff going on, and then his entire roster of villains are implemented because he's trying to figure out who's doing this shit. So you get to go through all the holidays, and it's like different chapters and shit, but it's so well done in the storytelling because Godfather is considered by many to be the greatest movie ever made. And then, like, to me, I'm like, man, Scarface and with Al Pacino and The Godfather, definitely some of the best movies ever made. Period. Eclipses many countless movies that have tried to emulate what they are. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, those are the next four that's scheduled to come out, and like I said, I'm ready to see Warner Brothers. They outdone themselves with this. I only hope that they'll do part two here. I hope this time next year or sooner would suit me fine.
Me
like
too.
I said, I already watched it 3 times. I'll probably watch it again. Just trying to find stuff to watch. Now, one of the guys on the stream, he told me about a show that's on. Trying to look it up. I can't remember the name of it. But it's like a superhero movie. I know it stars the the guy that plays the Green Lantern and his brother.
Digo?
You saying this is a DC movie?
It's on Netflix. It's called Code 8.
Oh yeah. No. I watched that because number one, it has Stephen Amell, who started the entire Arrowverse. He's great for that. Outside of him playing Oliver Queen, he's not a good actor. That's first and foremost. And then it has his cousin Robbie Amell in there, who played part of the first half of the first Firestorm in the Arrowverse
I
during
remember
the
that.
Flash. But the concept of the movie is better than the movie itself. I thought the movie was very weak in many areas. So luckily for me, I wasn't expecting much. Otherwise, I'd have been extremely disappointed. So again, my only reason for watching it is because Stephen Amell is in it and nothing else. So
Yeah,
do I recommend do I recommend it? No, I do not.
Yeah, I think I've seen it and passed right by it. I'm like, because I already know Stephen Amell. He's not that great of an actor. He's great in the TV show, but put him in anything else, and it's like, no,
right. That is exactly right, Jason. He a lot of actors that are good at the character is just that they're good at that character, but a great actor can just do anything. Stephen Amell is perfect for Arrow. That's what he does. But outside of that, when you take away how much you like and respect him for what he did as Arrow, there's really nothing else that's there. Because I've seen him, I've seen him in Ninja Turtles. That was trash. I've seen him in Code 8. That was trash. In any and everything outside of Arrow has been trash. Period. So, yeah, like people I feel that were mentioning the movie is probably because they like the concept, and that's fine. They probably like Stephen Amell. That's also fine. But again, when you stop being biased to those things and you really analyze the movie, I'm like, it's not a good movie. It's really not. In fact, they wasted what it could have been. Is the problem that I saw.
I watched The Hunt. I watched that one. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
You seen it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I wasn't expecting it to be that good.
Right.
I actually,
Yeah.
I actually watched Ready or Not the other day too, which I thought was pretty good too.
I saw Ready or Not, and it's not bad. I was like, I was
Yeah,
cool with
that's
it, but
it.
I like the hunt though better, Jason. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
me too. I like the
yeah,
hunt
yeah,
better too. I like the
yeah.
hunt better too. And Queen and Slim, I watched that one.
Oh hell
Wasn't
yeah,
Yeah, that was good. That was really good. You seen that one, Danny?
I haven't. I
Yeah.
heard about it, but I
man.
don't like
Whew.
that actor, man.
You don't like
I,
Daniel Kaluuya?
let
Really?
me tell you, the reason why I don't like him is fucked up, and I know it's fucked up. Okay, but I'm gonna tell you how he did old boy in Black Panther. I was like, oh man, fuck
Okay,
you.
okay, Danny. See, that's another reason as to why he's great because he made you feel like that. That is powerful. Like, imagine somebody in the crowd, like, you know what, Daniel, I don't like you, man, because what you did to Black
Hmm.
Panther. Like, I think that would
I
make
know,
him smile. You know,
I
like,
know it's fucked up and silly, man. But I was like, man, I ain't watched nothing he did since then.
hey, nah, you gotta watch Queen and Slim because you got these good characters that are pretty much just black people that get caught into a realistic situation that many of
I've
our
heard
people
about it,
have
and
been in.
when I heard about it, I was like, man, that might make me mad. So I don't think I need to watch that.
It might, but that just means the movie's doing what it's supposed to do. If you watch something and you don't feel anything, that's like one of the worst movies you can watch. If you don't feel anything from it, right? You know, it
Yeah.
should be making you happy, making you mad, whatever. You should feel something. You shouldn't just be sitting there with just the most blank expression, like, "Oh, it's
Hmm.
over, huh? Okay, time to leave." So,
That's
um,
kind of how I felt like after I watched Birds of Prey.
I didn't feel like that at all after
I
watching that.
literally, I literally was like, uh,
I liked Birds of
damn.
Prey.
I
I
like,
thought
damn.
it
I
was
Yeah,
almost,
it,
man, I almost went
I
to sleep
did
a couple
too.
times on it, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey, to be honest, like actually right now, it was the other night when I looked on the on demand for people to buy and rent movies, and it's
Hmm.
actually number one on demand, which means that
Birds of
people
Prey.
are
I can't believe.
yeah.
It means people are fucking bored because it ain't.
No,
It's not
no, it
that bad.
doesn't.
It's not that
That
bad.
It's not. It means that the people, okay, not that many people watched it, but the people that did, most of them. This is just a word of mouth scenario, is what it is.
I
So
know that shit is whack. I'm about to keep kicking y'all if you keep talking about that stupid shit.
hey, I get that you didn't like it, and honestly, I wouldn't have made a Birds of Prey movie like that because it's
Hmm.
not a Birds of Prey movie.
Hmm.
Like I know better than that, but at the same time, the movie was fun. Like
Yeah, it
I
was
was fucking
entertaining.
laughing. It was
Me too.
entertaining as shit.
Yeah, me too. I
Like
was laughing too. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, I wasn't
yeah,
expecting this to be that funny. You know.
exactly. And it's different too. Like that's again that's what I like about DC stuff, man. They be doing all kinds of crazy ass shit. I'm like, hey man, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Hmm.
But I like that they try to make their shit different and not be all formulaic and shit all the time.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot better than I thought. I thought it was gonna be a hot piece of trash,
It
Mm.
but
was a hot piece of trash. You got it
no, was
right.
it, Daddy? No, was it? It was a
No,
Your
it
hot trash.
description
wasn't. You
your
just didn't like
description
it. That's
was
not even fair.
accurate. Hot
Hey, you. This is coming from someone that
trash.
just said you mad at Daniel Kaluuya because he
Hey,
like.
I can admit when I'm fucked up about something. I'm fucked up about that. That's a dumbass reason to hate somebody because I know he is just acting. But when
Hmm.
he the way he did that, I was like, man, that's a dirty bastard right there, boy. I don't even want nothing to do with
Danny,
him.
we
So I
both
don't
know
watch
you
his.
don't
I don't
actually
watch no
hate
more of his
him, man.
stuff.
We both know you
I
don't
don't watch no
actually
more of
hate
his
him.
stuff. I don't hate him, but I don't watch no more of his stuff. That's real
But
talk there.
but I should say
Because
though,
when you bring, because just now y'all brought up, you watch Slim. What's the movie name called
Queen
again?
and
Queen and
Slim.
Slim. Yeah.
You watch Queen of Slim? I said, nah, hell no, man. That's the man that fucked up Black Panther. You just heard me say that just now. That's why I say whenever his name brought up, you watch old Kaluuya. What his name, real name is?
Daniel Kaluuya.
Dan Kaluuya. Oh, you talking about that motherfucker that double cross Black Panther? No, I don't watch none of his shit. That's what I say.
Okay, well,
I know it fucked up,
Queen
but
and
it's true.
Slim. I think you should watch Queen and Slim. It's definitely worth
Probably,
it.
Probably ain't gonna happen, dog.
Danny, trust me on this. I think you should give it a shot.
I trust you, but I'm
Yeah, I
telling you, it
think you
probably
should
ain't gonna
too.
happen.
But okay, here's the thing. In regards to Queen and Slim, I remember there were some people like they were mentioning Bonnie and Clyde, and I kind of wanted to backhand them through a window because I'm like, first of all, Bonnie and Clyde were criminals. They were murdering people, and they were having fun, and they were making it known of their presence. I'm like the characters in Queen and Slim are black people that get into a fucked up situation because a racist white cop tried to murder them. And then also throughout the film, they're trying to lay low because they realized that they messed up. But what other choice did they have if they didn't want to die? And so I'm like, that is not the same thing as fucking Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah. Let's click right here. Let's see what my son say. He said, "Yeah, the whole movie was about."
See, but that's hey, I didn't say anything about it being special. All I said was that it was enjoyable because when I saw the trailers for it, I had a lot of problems with it. And then Sean and anybody can tell you, I broke it down in full detail. But I said, look, as long as the movie entertains me, then I'm fine because I already know they're not going to do Huntress, Black Canary, and Oracle, which is Batgirl. They're not going to do that. So since I know they're not going to give me that, all I can do is embrace what they do give me, and it will simply come down to did I enjoy it or did I not? It's going to be that simple, and I enjoyed it.
As did I. Like I said, that's the first Marvel or DC movie that I haven't seen in the theater. That's the first one. And I was like, you know what? Screw that. My son didn't want to go see it. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to go watch it either. But then I watched it and I was like, okay, well, it's not that bad.
Only two parts of the movie I like when she had like them big ass rubber bullets and went in that police department and was shooting everybody. That was kind of fun. And then the second part when damn, I don't forget the second part. See how uneventful that movie was? It was two things.
You mentioned the fight scenes. Like the fight scenes were dope. Like when Harley was fighting, that shit was dope as fuck. Like when she was breaking them fucking legs, when she had the bat in her mallet, that shit was fire.
Okay.
And she was doing all them twirls and stuff. I'm like, if nothing else, I feel like somebody could just pull up the fight scenes. They ain't even got to watch the whole movie.
And at the end, she puts on the roller skates.
Yeah, good point, Jason. What I noticed is that the movie had some really good cinematography. I know a lot of humans are like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "It's how you make stuff look from a camera angle. What you do with the lighting. People win Oscars and shit for this shit. But like, the end scene when they go to the carnival, when they go through that tunnel, I'm like, man, that is a good ass visual. That looks so fucking amazing. I remember people were laughing when I was talking about the costumes and the visuals for Suicide Squad, but they ended up winning an Oscar. Shows what the fuck people know. I knew what I was talking about. But yeah, like, so yeah.
Boy, something making my son feel froggy today. What? He said this movie with Birds of Prey was a woman empowerment, like in Avengers Endgame. At the end, I almost walked out. Boy, you better be careful how you talk. Hey.
Now, if you want to bring that up, look, that moment in Avengers Endgame when all the females were together, while I liked it, I'm like, this is forced as fuck. You mean to tell me that everybody was fighting on the battlefield, all these characters are almost getting killed, but somehow all the women was like, ladies, you ready? I'm like, come on, like
I didn't mind that part at all. It's the same way in Age of Ultron when they got that flash and you can see all the Avengers line up right beside each other. So in that middle of that battle, all six of them lined up right there together.
No. That's very different. Number one, you are talking about a group of people that are fighting together. That's very different than when you have a battle consisting of thousands where they're all spread out and then they just so happen to have a moment where all of the females happen to be in the same spot. That is very different.
But the same thing to me, bro.
I like the scene too But
I
that
like
was,
it.
yeah, that was definitely like
Yeah,
woman power crap, you know.
absolutely. Yeah,
And Captain Marvel did not need them in
no,
that
she
movie.
didn't.
She did not need them to help her. She could have flew right through all of those Thanos' crew without them. She didn't need them.
Yeah, yeah, and that's
All that
yeah,
was they were just setting up for when they do the all female thing. That's all that
yeah.
was.
The A Force, some of
Mm-hmm.
the most shittiest fucking Marvel comics ever written. Yeah, I know
Oh
what
my
they were doing.
lord! Oh my
Now
lord!
here's the thing: the A Force comics have cool characters, but the writing is boring. Like I'm gonna call it what it is. Just because I like Marvel, don't mean I'm gonna say all their shit is good. A lot of their shit is not. But like, I like badass women, so women teaming up and kicking ass, I'm like, cool. But if that shit is forced, I'm still gonna say it. Like I'm like, that shit is forced as fuck. I get what you're doing. I know what you're setting up for, but this doesn't feel natural. Just like when you have the guys team up, you don't really have all the guys all lined up. They're just a team that happens to consist of guys. They're not like, hey, let's have Thor, and then we're gonna have Cap and Black Panther and Bucky and Ant Man. Like like, it's not like that. So I gotta call it for what it is. I get and plus when you look at the direction where Marvel is going, now you know they're gonna start implementing more diversity. I'm like, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
stupid. That wasn't on the plans before. It just happened to be based off of what's the popular thing to do. Well, we might as well do it because people want it, right? I'm like, who wants it? Nobody asked for this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell in their right mind would ask for a Miss Marvel show? I like, aside from someone like me, like where I'm like, hey, you can make anything and I'll watch it because I love the characters that much, but I'm not gonna act like they're popular when they're not. You can make them popular, but don't lie to me and say people have been waiting on Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel. I'm like, who? Where? What convention did you see a bunch of Captain Marvels and Miss Marvels walking around before those movies came out? How many?
Uh,
For real.
That I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I thought.
we've been talking about Mortal Kombat for 1 hour and 22 minutes. I'm going to have the final top. I mean, your final thoughts on this. We go to our next subject. So, anything you want to say, Terrence, about this particular
Um,
subject before we go to the next?
Jason, you can go first. I'll go after.
No problem. I just want to say that, like I said, I rate this movie 10 out of 10. So far, it's the best thing I've seen this year. I definitely recommend if you haven't seen it, go purchase it, go buy it. Let's try and get this thing to make money so that we can see another one. Because I was like, man, this should have been a series so that I could have had a next one to watch next week. So let's make sure it makes money so that we can actually get another one in a year whenever they do.
Good
That's
deal.
it. Mm-hmm.
Go, Terrence.
Oh, final thoughts are, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would because I knew I was gonna like it, but I mean, I didn't know that I was gonna like it that much. Like I naturally, when I watch stuff, I analyze everything, and fortunately for me, I can analyze and enjoy at the same time. A lot of humans cannot do both for some odd reason, but it is what it is. But I mean, my brain was moving at a million miles per hour, and I was just like, this is good for so many reasons that my brain is unable to process within this time. By the time I'm done, then it'll be complete. It was like I was in the downloading process, which told me that there's a whole lot of greatness to this movie, especially considering that it's the first one. Because for me, when you do the first go around, you put enough in there, but when you do it like that, I'm just like, man, like your sequel, it don't even have to be as good as this. You can make a okay one because this one just has so much. I mean, you don't want to make a bad one, but this is just so good that I thought you was gonna break up the greatness. You put a little bit in the first one, a little bit in the second one, but you knocked my ass out. You gave me a fatality, the whole nine, and now you brought me back from the nether realm, and I'm like, so I want to hear that you're at least considering a sequel. Because if you're not,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna go back to the nether realm and be like, Quan Chi, I don't even want the scorpion treatment. I don't want you to do what you did to Hanzo. Just kill me now. There's nothing else in life.
I gotcha. The next thing we're going to talk, and I agree with y'all. I want to see a sequel. I thought this movie was fantastic. This is one of the gripe I had on it, but it's really not a gripe. Basically, it's a 10 out of 10. But like I said, I just thought they made Johnny Cage dumb as too damn dumb. But other than that, man, I enjoyed it. Next thing we're going to talk about, I have, and I think I told y'all too. The CW has free apps you can download on your devices. And I was going through my devices for upcoming CW shows and came across this Stargirl. Have y'all seen the trailer for the shit?
Yep.
Yes, I've seen all the trailers. Let me tell you this right now. That already looks
I'm gonna
better
pull it up now and see if we
than Supergirl and Batwoman combined. Like
Mm-hmm.
that they from the beginning, I was like, okay. So you got Stargirl. She is one of the coolest female characters in comic books, just because of number one, she's cool, but just the fact that she's connected to the JSA. I saw her fighting Sportsmaster. I saw that they're going to be covering the Injustice Society. I'm like, you got a lot of great shit in season one. Like, holy crap. So I can't wait to see Stargirl coming out and kicking some ass.
I agree with you 100%. You know, like I said, I watched the previews and the commercials and the trailers, and I'm like, okay, this could definitely be better than Batwoman and Supergirl put together. So I'm definitely excited for it. I like the robot that they show in there. The acting looks like it's on point, so I'm definitely excited for that one.
Jason, I should mention, because you mentioned that robot, like that suit was originally for the Nazis
Mm-hmm.
until the JSA got a hold of it. So that suit has a long history of murdering people. Like that suit is like, if you were to have that suit in real life, outside of maybe them dropping a nuke on you, man, you could just wreck entire countries and cities in that suit. It's
That's
like nothing.
Yeah, it looks great. I don't know how much we're gonna see of it because the CGI would probably be expensive to do, but
Right.
just give us a good fight scene with it a couple of times, and I'm good with that.
Yeah. It seemed like they might have it there a bit because it looks like one of her family members, or at least the guy that took her in, is gonna use that, because
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it in a lot of shots, right? So it seems like we'll be getting enough of it. It might be little nit bits per episode where we would see the suit implemented into some kind of a fight scene.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
And it is connected to the Arrowverse. It will premiere on the DC streaming service first, and then a day or two later, it will premiere on the CW. Like the one on the DC universe is going to be a little bit more uncut, and the CW version will be slightly edited. So obviously, I want to see the raw version. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, like the show itself, um, Stargirl's powers, the JSA
here's the
powers.
Gonna show the trailer.
Which
yeah.
trailer is
Can
it?
you
Because
see
they
it?
got like five of them. Yeah, I could see it.
The start.
Yeah, that cosmic staff, man. Whew,
Mm-hmm.
that will fuck your shit up. Like whole teams, they don't want none of that cosmic staff. Yeah, she could do them force waves and the energy projection. She can fly across the universe with her cosmic staff. Like, man, she's a badass character. Period.
That's good, man. Because after Batwoman, we need something that's badass, man.
Yeah, because Batwoman is trash. Like the last
Mm.
episode that I saw was decent. I'm like, oh, about damn time after 17 episodes, you finally do something decent, you motherfucker. But like, other than that though, there's not a good episode. So the series is still an F plus
Mm-hmm.
another plus. So now at least Supergirl has a lot of SJW agenda preachy kind of shit in her show.
Mm-hmm.
But at least with her, some of her fight scenes are cool. You
Mm-hmm.
got some cool stuff with the Martian Manhunter when he's not getting beat up every scene that he's in.
Mm-hmm.
It has some elements to it, but like Stargirl from the trailer, I'm just like, man, she flexing on all these shows that
Yeah.
have female leads in them.
Yeah, for real.
Woo, like that shot. Hell yeah. Like, man, when they had that one shot when the JSA when they're all lined up, I'm like, yo, that's 7 heroes in one shot. Like, yo. So yeah, they're
Yeah.
not holding back on the hero roster because let's see, I saw Stargirl on Smallville. I remember when that happened during season 9. They had a Smallville Absolute Justice movie where they were covering the JSA. Icicle was working for Amanda Waller, and he was killing the JSA members. So Hawkman had disbanded the team, and then man, I was like, yo, they got
This
a
guy got
fucking
cosmic powers. How in the world icicle blackbird shoot with his shield? I'm not excited about this at all. It looks quite easy to me.
hey man, hey,
But
I'm excited because I know these characters. Like
okay, I'm just saying.
if you
I knew you knew Batwoman too, don't you?
well, I know Batwoman, but that show is trash though, and it
Okay.
also but the trailers for that show also
Looks
were very
trash.
inaccurate. I was like, that is not the character. I already knew from the trailer that it
During
was gonna be bad.
Crisis, she was more aggressive and more likable. When it was the first Crisis, when her and Supergirl kind of kicked around with World's Finest, she was hard on that one.
Yeah, when she was introduced in Elseworlds, that was fine. The
But
World's
this shit
Finest
here she
thing.
in now.
Yeah,
I don't want
like,
to see the
okay,
World's Finest with them. I'm just saying they kind of hit it
No,
around
hell
at
no.
the end. She was like, we make a great team. And then she said something else. And Supergirl said World's Finest. I was like, really?
Yeah,
Y'all gonna do
that was cringy as hell. That shit was stupid and forced. I'm like, no, the World's Finest is Batman and Superman. Stop that shit. But Batwoman is good in the crossovers. In her own show, she's terrible. So
No,
what I'm saying to you, Danny,
she's terrible in Crisis.
well,
Batwoman?
I don't think she was terrible in Crisis. She was better in Crisis than I've seen in any episode of her own show. Just saying that because I've seen all their own shows. But like,
and that's because different writers, right? So Crisis was written by different people. So they actually gave her a little bit of a different type of attitude kind of way. I mean, she wasn't great, but she was better in Crisis than she was in her own show.
Yeah,
sure.
And she was also better in Elseworlds. When she had her appearance, it made me excited for her show until I saw the trailer for her show and then the show itself. But see, Danny, there are episodes of Supergirl that you like. And with that being the case, there is no reason that you should not give Stargirl a chance if you can like something in Supergirl.
I'm not saying I'm not going to give it a chance. I'm saying on my initial eye test, one, I don't follow Stargirl, so I don't know her powers, weaknesses, any kind of stuff. Two, the girl, in my opinion, looked too young to play it. She looked more teenagery I want to see her more of a woman because the Stargirls I've seen
supposed to be like that. Like
I'm telling you what I want to see. I didn't tell you how she's supposed. I'm gonna tell you that's what in my mind that's what I see a more grown up version of Stargirl. When I look at that girl, I'm like, there ain't nobody that's gonna catch my attention or somebody I'm gonna give a damn about. She's me.
She's 19.
Okay.
So she is a woman.
Based on what I've seen, I may watch it a time or two, but if it don't pick up real quick, then it's gonna be just like Cloak and Dagger.
While I enjoy Cloak and Dagger, I'm like,
so did I.
It was still very lacking in terms of the characters. Like Kevin Feige would have did a better job. I do appreciate the mature themes in the show, but the Cloak and Dagger wasn't very fantastical. Those are supposed to be fantastical characters. Their powers and the way that they looked wasn't really Cloak and Dagger. It was very watered down. So they replaced the fantastical elements for mature
like a love story to me or something.
Well, I mean, that's supposed to be there, but it has to. But you have to have the fantastical elements. They substituted the fantastical elements for deeper, more mature storytelling, but you can't do that. You have to do both. So in the case of Stargirl, number one, we've already seen that character a bunch of times. We saw her in Smallville, and we saw her in the Arrowverse. They showed her on Legends of Tomorrow a bunch of times with different members of the JSA. So
Right.
this is actually the third interpretation. So when you get to the third interpretation, you need to do something to make her different. And in this case, because she has her own show, you can flesh her out. So you should start her younger if she's starting in high school. Like that just makes the most sense. And then she will develop more.
I'm not saying I won't like her, but I'm just saying based on my initial viewing of the trailer, I'm not overly excited.
That is fine.
What I'm saying.
What I will do, Danny, is when I watch it, I will text you. I'll be like, "Hey, Danny, whew, you gotta watch this shit," or I'll be like, "Danny, I ain't sure."
That's just like the transition from Andrew Garfield to what's the young boy now?
What, Tom?
Tom Holland.
Tom. I think Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man. When I saw Tom Holland's look, I was like, man, they're gonna make Spider-Man. I like him, but I like Andrew Garfield interpretation better. I still love Spider-Man. I even like Tobey Maguire, but if I gotta rank him, he's a third. But I'm still gonna watch it. But I just like Andrew Garfield's take on Peter Parker and Spider-Man better.
I got you, and I like Andrew Garfield too, but that's not Spider-Man. That's an aggressive man in a Spider-Man suit. Spider-Man is not supposed to be like that. Just to let you know, like from an accuracy standpoint. But when their whole entire goal was to do something different than Toby, they succeeded, but probably too much, which is why it failed, because it was too much.
On the Spider-Mans that I've seen on animation and I read the comic book, when he's fighting his criminals, he's always saying smart ass stuff to get under their skin. And that was the only one that did it the way that I've seen it in TV and in comic books.
No, he did not. Like, he said a couple of things, but he's not Tom Holland. Like, Tom Holland's approach to how he fights people, that's how Spider-Man's supposed to be. He's supposed to be funny. Andrew Garfield was an asshole. There's a difference. Like, Spider-Man's defense mechanism is using humor to cover up for the fact that he's afraid, which is what Tom Holland has expressed the entire time that he's been there. Oh, shoot, what do I do? Oh, Star Wars references. I'm like, that's Spider-Man, not, hey, what's up, scumbag? Remember me? I'm Peter Parker. I'm like, no, this dude's a jerk. He's not supposed to be like that.
Or when he's asking Falcon about his wings, you know what I mean? And he's like, in Civil War, he's talking about Captain America's shield. So that's the Spider-Man I know. I think Garfield is the third to me. Like, I like Tom, then I like Toby, then I like Garfield, to be honest with you.
No.
Yeah,
No.
Yes,
No.
Yes. I think Andrew's chemistry with Gwen was way better than Toby's, but I don't know. I liked Toby better. Maybe because I liked Spider-Man movie better, but
it didn't even look right.
For the time he did, like when it came out, I mean, his costume wasn't like the Spider-Man costume we know, but neither was Garfield's either, you know?
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I like all the different actors that have played Spider-Man, minus that one in like the 80s and 90s, because he was complete trash. But like, everyone else, yeah, he was trash. Everyone else,
he never talked. That was trip out when he be looking all fool.
Everything was bad about that. I'm not talking about the effects, because
that's what I grew up on, man. You ain't gonna be talking bad about my childhood now. Stop it.
Okay, but it still was trash. I gotta call it what it is. But
it was not.
In terms of, yes, it was. It's not even respected. It's not even respected by Spider-Man fans.
It is a cult following.
No, it's not. It's not even respected. People don't even bring him up because it's so bad.
Yeah, no matter, it's still good.
It's trash. It's horrible. If I didn't read those Spider-Man comic
that
books,
man did martial arts, and you are a fan of martial arts. I know you loved his martial art.
What martial arts did he do? Because that all looked sloppy. It looked just as bad as the shit in Daredevil, the movie.
You be like,
Hey, Jason, remember how we were talking about that horrible fight scene in the Daredevil movie when they were in the park? It
Yeah,
reminded me of that kind of shit. Very shitty ass fight choreography. I'm like, no, hell no.
but you got to remember, this is like 70s, 80s
yeah,
type of
that's
shit,
like
bro.
1976.
Okay.
You
Well,
know?
70s and 80s, and then I'm like, I could point you really good martial arts movies that came out in the 70s or 80s. Just saying, they could have did better. It's an example of trash. When I see mediocre content, I have to call it that. I can't just allow my fandom to go, oh, this is great. No, fuck that. I'm like, you better do better than this. Talking about this is
Man,
for the fans. I'm like,
Spider-Man
no.
was the shit back then. I don't care what you say.
No, it wasn't. It was
Was
not like
Spider,
it
what?
was.
Spider-Man,
No, it wasn't.
the
It was
Incredible Hulk,
Yes,
the
that was
Flash.
not the shit back then.
it
You got to
was.
be kidding me. No, it wasn't.
You weren't even born, so
Marvel
how you know?
because I watched it when I was a
You wasn't,
kid. And
you
and
wasn't
first
born
of
back
all,
then.
it doesn't matter. Like the
No, I
only
remember
the
waiting to watch
only
that
the, the
every week.
only the only live action show that had any sort of actual popularity was the Incredible Hulk with Lou Ferrigno. And even then, that didn't last that long. It faded. So as far as I'm concerned, I didn't like really start respecting Marvel live action until Blade.
I did not
That's in
realize that
1998.
Terrence was such a hater. Did you know that, Jason?
I'm not a hater. I'm just saying I gotta call it for what it is, man. Like the Marvel was struggling before 1998 with everything. They were. That's why they went into debt. Like I mean, they're the height of their success
But
is
for
in the
the
90s.
time, though,
But I mean, even for the time though,
you know what I mean?
but that's what I'm saying. Like
It
even for
was
the time
good.
though, they were still struggling. They were still struggling.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah, I know that.
yeah,
But their shows were
Because they
good,
were
man.
way they because back then Marvel was about 40 years too early.
no, they were
Mm-hmm.
they just had bad people working on their stuff.
No,
And
Stan Lee.
even Stan Lee was not satisfied with the stuff that they made. He's been around that
Yeah.
long. So
But even with the way the world was and how, you know, our technology was, they did the best they could, man. Trust me, they did the best
here's the
they
thing
could.
though. Again, I'm not talking about the technology. The classic monster films like Frankenstein, Wolfman, The Creature from the Black Lagoon, that's you don't talk about special effects with that. You talk about the story and the characters. So no matter what time period you're in, you can still have, you know, good or bad writers. They just had shitty writers. The people that worked on Blade, they knew that if Marvel was going to have a future, they had to have good writers, they had to have good talent, they needed Wesley Snipes, they had to have the whole entire ship running a certain way. And because of that, that's how we got X-Men and Spider-Man and eventually the MCU.
Yeah, but all of that, if it wasn't for what we had,
No, that's not true because Blade is what tipped it off. There was no tipping point before that.
no, Blade tipped it off, but at least they were able to put in like, you know what I mean, back in the day, superheroes like
Oh my fucking god! Oh my god! That is horrible. No, stop it. Jesus. Oh my god.
Look at that spider web, boy. Look at that boy. Look at that power.
Oh my god.
Look at old Peter Parker.
Man, Jason, you can make a better Peter than what I'm looking at, man. That is fucking so trash. Jesus. Corny ass music and shit. I'm like, man. Fucking trash. This is why Stan wasn't
Woo, boy.
Ooh,
Bring back
trash,
the memories
man.
right there, boy.
Some fucking trash ass memories. I would rather watch the Spider-Man, because you know at least that was decent. Like that thing that you just played is complete trash. That has no value to it, none. Like See, that's why I'm glad that I was introduced to comics by my cousins when I was a kid. Because if that didn't happen and I were exposed to some of the shows and shit back then, I would have never decided to read the fucking comics because I'd have had no
You'd
incentive.
be like,
You'd have loved it.
damn, that is awesome. That's awesome sauce.
You'd
There.
have loved it.
Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like I'd have been like, fuck, man, like where is this from? That all these comic books. I'm like, I never want to read that shit. I'm glad that I had it the other way around because at least I can go, we deserve better. Because I remember my dad, like, he was telling me and my grandma and different relatives, they was like, man, when fucking Batman came on with Adam West, man, everybody in the house was watching that shit. That was the shit. And then it was like, then you had the other people that were watching the Green Hornet with Bruce Lee,
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of come on back to back. Like Green Hornet, it never got to the popularity of the Adam West Batman show because Batman is Batman, and then they had a crossover. I don't know if you guys saw that, but yeah, like
Man, Bruce Lee whipped Robin ass like he stole something.
yeah, he kicked him out a window. I'm like, I thought Robin died. I'm like, that motherfucker's dead. I'm like, you're not beating Bruce Lee. It's not happening. So, and then like Green Hornet and Batman, they kind of was like the same. Like they kind of get up and hit each other, and then they understood that they had to deal with the same enemy. So I wasn't able to see that when it premiered, but when I was exposed to it when I was little, I was like, man, like this shit is hype right here. Then I like compared it to the comics. I was like, yep, same color palette. You got the villain and they got the goons. Henchmen 1 and 2 didn't even have a name, but like the pow and the bubbles. I was like, all right, cool.
That's what I'm saying. You couldn't help but like that when we were growing up. We never seen stuff like that before on TV. It's like you got Spider-Man on TV. They could have gave us Spider-Man in a Superman leotard with little boxers on him. We would have loved that. As long as it was Spider-Man, you know what I mean?
I didn't like that Spider-Man show because it wasn't the Spider-Man from the comics. It was bad. The Batman show that I liked.
Actually, that was the Spider-Man from like the Electric Company. If you remember the show called Electric Company,
he looks like the Spider-Man that you would see on a really bad commercial that was like trying to promote some kind of cartoon or game that was coming out. He looks like that. I'm like, why does he look worse than the shit that he's promoting? Like, what the hell's going on? I've seen YouTube creators like make short films and with Spider-Man, and they look amazing. I'm like, I wish these people had money because I can recognize passion. Like when you have passion, you can create some really good stuff. The money only adds to what you are able to do in terms of shooting locations and things of that sort. But passion is always obvious from the get-go, which is why a lot of people like short fan films on YouTube and stuff. Like Bat in the Sun, the recent bat suit that they built for the guy that plays their Batman looks amazing, Jason. Like it's to the point to where I can compare it to the bat suits that I've seen in the actual movies from Hollywood, and it looks better than some of those.
Oh yeah,
it really does. And it's like they don't have a whole lot of money, but like they number one, they have the passion. They have people in their creative department that wanted to see a certain Batman costume come to life, so they made it.
Oh, you mean those videos there? Yeah, I seen the Batman one with Killmonger, and I was like, yeah, it was done pretty well.
The dude that plays their Batman, and number one, his voice is perfect. He sounds very similar to Kevin Conroy, his build, and the way he looks in that suit. I'm like, that's what I like to see. And like back in the day when YouTube was a little bit different, I had reviewed their short fan film, Batman City of Scars. And the guy that runs that, Aaron, he saw my review and he put it underneath his video, which is something that they did back then. You could connect a video to yours and you could put it right underneath so that way your fans see that as soon as they click on. Like you see it, and then it was right before you would enlarge the video to have it take up the screen. And he liked my review because I reviewed it and I was like, man, and I was, talking about it. He liked it, and he sent me a message. I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. I'm like, you need more subscribers, and I hope that Batman fans see this. This is an example of, you don't need a whole lot of money. You just have to have the right people that want to make the right thing. Because we've seen people that have a lot more money that give us trash ass content. So it's not about the money.
Mm-hmm.
So I made sure to explain that. They're like, yeah, we tend to, operate like as we are. We're fans, so we want to make stuff the fans like. And I'm like, that's exactly how you should always think. Because then we get stuff like this.
Like what? Good stuff.
Yeah, Bat
God,
and the Sun, man, they are awesome.
Oh my God.
Yes.
See, like, it's funny. Like I was talking to some of my friends about Marvel. This was a long ass time ago, and we brought up this trash ass fucking Doctor Strange movie that came out back then, and this was because when Doctor Strange was new, when they first had the first Doctor Strange movie in the MCU, I told them, I was like, did you guys know that they had a trash one back in the day that nobody talks about? They're like, really? And we fucking put that on and watched it. Man, we were all like, man, this is fucking. Whew. So good thing we got our tickets for the newer one. And then I was like, yo, let's watch the trailer for the new one again. And we're like, yeah, that's how our boys should be. Like, this right here that we watch is disrespectful. I'm telling you, Jason, like right now, I can write a script and include you and Danny, and I can make a better Doctor Strange movie than that. All I have to do is find people that can do the costumes, maybe someone that can do a little bit of special effects, and I will make some better shit than that. Just because of my creative vision.
Yeah, I agree with you. But back in the day, most of these people that were making these movies and TV shows had no ideas about comic books, bro.
Exactly, I can tell. Like, at least with the with the DC ones, whether it be the cartoons or like when they did like Superman or Batman stuff, it was always pulled from their comics. It was a certain era. This is how Superman was.
But you gotta
Batman was.
I hear what you're saying, but you gotta realize that it's kind of like what this is always holds it's profound to be in. Which was it? Was Iron Man 2? Maybe it was Iron Man 3. But anyway, it was Iron Man 2. When Tony was dying of that stuff that thing in his chest, he had to come up with the new element. And his dad had it back then, but he said, this is way before my time. Tony will be able to figure it out, but I just don't have the technology or whatever I need to do it now. And then 30 years later, or whatever differences, he was dead. Tony was able to figure it out, and that same element saved his life. It's kind of what some of this stuff. I'm not saying all of it, but some of this stuff, like the Spider-Man, it's cheesy. I know it's cheesy. I'm kind of pulling your leg, but that's all we had back then. That Doctor Strange, that's definitely garbage. But for a little boy, for a little boy,
good one though.
For a little boy, that's like, damn. That kind of stuff got me interested in reading comic books. My favorite show growing up was The $6 Million Man. I'm telling you, I know every episode of that. Steve Austin, man, I wanted to have 2 bionic legs, an eye, an arm. I that's who I thought I was. I even still got the lunchbox now.
I gotta address that point that you brought up about Tony and his dad. Number one, Tony's dad was nowhere near as smart as his son. That's number one. Number two, it doesn't matter about his limitations in terms of technology because Tony, in a cave in Afghanistan, was able to build an Iron Man suit. For all intents or purposes, he shouldn't have been able to accomplish that, but he's Tony Stark. Just in the same way of Shuri, T'Challa's sister, she is another character that can do something like that where you shouldn't be able to do it. In fact, a scientist later told that bald white guy, the Ironmonger is the name of his villain, that he couldn't build that because he's not Tony Stark. And they had a bunch of technology. It doesn't matter. So it's all about the person, who they are. In this case, being creativity. Tony's creativity is what allowed him to do that. And in fact, they will tell you in Hollywood that some of the best stories come from people that don't have any money, but they have the ideas to where people with
Oh,
money
I,
and or technology, they can't do it because they're not the
I,
right person for it.
I'm not saying I don't disagree. When I don't disagree with what you're saying, all I'm saying is that I think if Tony Dad had some of this virtual stuff that Tony had, and he could tell, I want this computer to do ABC 1 2 3, blah 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 blah, that he could do. I'm not saying as great as Tony, but he could do some stuff that's ain't too far off from it because
He
he made a
okay,
lot of those weapons and stuff before Tony became of age to start doing it. And Tony
he did.
kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not debating that Tony's smarter or less smarter. That all I'm saying is that as it relates to the technology, I believe if
No,
somebody had a
you're
tech,
right.
yeah, okay,
You're
if
right.
somebody had a technology back then, we wouldn't see that crappy Spider-Man because that Spider-Man, his web was garbage. I could create something more than that because on one
Man, I
season
can
he shoot out a rope, the next season he shoot out something that looked like a web rope, and one
Mhm.
season he shot out something that looked like a spider web. I mean, it wasn't
Man,
consistent.
I can build a better spider rope just by busting a couple of nuts and just kind of string it
Oh my
together. Like,
God. Okay.
but
We ain't gonna
anyway,
get to that.
but
Whatever
like,
whatever make but
but
I'm just
but
saying
all I'm
but
saying is that Tony's dad, as we even saw in a really wonderful show called Agent Carter that didn't catch on because it's a period piece and a lot of people didn't take to it. But I was one of those few individuals where I was like, you give Agent Carter her own show, and they did for 2 seasons. And in that, we do see Howard Stark and how much he helped Peggy and how much he contributed to what would be known as Shield. He did a whole lot of stuff, absolutely. The whole putting the Cap's shield together with vibranium. He did all kinds of wonderful stuff, but his son is just so much better. And Tony, he got a lot of stuff from his dad, but at the same time, number one, he's smarter, and it's just that mind. You can't beat that creativity and passion. It's just when a person is special, they're special. I know that humans like to say everybody's special. That's one of the many things that irritate me about the human species is that they like to make each other feel good, but not everybody is special. If everyone is special, no one is special. Like on Krypton, right? With the Kryptonians, when you're there, they're all, for intensive purposes, almost all the same, with the exception of Jor-El, with the exception of Zod. You have a couple, but they tend to become more greater when they, go around like Earth and the yellow sun, and now they can fly and stuff. They're worshipped in a way that it's different from what they were accustomed to on their own planet. Because when they go elsewhere, there's just not people like that. Even people with powers, for the most part, cannot compare to the strength level of a Kryptonian. And that's just basic Billy Joe and Sue over there on the side. Like when they get to that yellow sun, they will drop them hands. They ain't got to be Kal-El or Zod. They just happen to be Kryptonian. Like
Mhm.
Kryptonians, I just like that. Just like with Superman, he's Superman. It's just you're not going to be better than him. It's just like you're Kryptonian, but you don't have his potential. You're not going to be Superman. You're not going to be Jordan. You're not going to be Kobe. You're not going to be Bruce Lee. You can be good, but there's a difference between good and great. It's just not going to happen, no matter how hard you try.
yeah.
For real.
Oh, trying to
Yeah,
think
that's
of
definitely a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people. Now that I said that, like they're like, damn. So no matter what I do, huh? Like I mean, I had a certain amount of potential for fighting, which is why I was able to wreck black belts when I was at a much lower rank. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not gonna be no Bruce Lee or nothing like that. I mean, I could be pretty good, but I'm like, man, I'm like, it's just one of those things that I accepted before I even did it. I'm like, I can't be like that. It's just not gonna happen.
Mhm.
yeah. Trying to figure out how to add moderators, but I ain't doing it. Let's go to the chat.
Yeah, have I mentioned I'm enjoying our discussion? Or...
Oh yeah, for sure. I always do. That's for sure.
Yeah, yes, Terrence fights. In fact, Terrence has been fighting for his entire 31 years on the shittiest planet in the universe, which is Earth.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What others have you been to, Terrence? May I ask?
Well, unfortunately, I have yet to leave Earth, but it's just that
Okay.
Earth has
Okay.
a very
Well, you let me
terrible
know.
reputation.
Well, you let me know how them other planets are.
Well, I can tell you how Planet Terrence is. Like
Oh,
I could tell you about that. Like
okay.
and Danny and Jason, you are welcome on Planet Terrence. I assure
Okay.
you, you will enjoy that way more than scummy ass Earth. Because you guys will have opportunity and wealth and privileges that you've never come accustomed to on this planet. I can
Okay.
guarantee you that.
Well, go ahead and make that planet happen so I can move
Oh,
there.
absolutely.
For real.
I'm gonna. You ain't even got to move. It's just all you got to do is yell Terrence, and then you're gonna get teleported there right away.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how
Terrence!
we're gonna do
Terrence!
it. Like,
Fuck. I'm still here.
Danny, I said I would let you know. Right now, it's
Okay.
like in the making. Maybe
It's
Oh, you
in
maybe
the
get
after.
making, right?
I guess you get a summon Shimron, huh?
Oh no, hell no, fuck Shenron. He's too limited. See, I want what I'm gonna do is it's gonna be just something amazing, and then humans gonna be like, man, Planet Terrence. I'm like, yeah, well, y'all ain't welcome because you ain't friends. Danny, Jason, and I'll be naming people. I have a list. I'm like, you hear your name, say Terrence, and you're gonna get teleported right up. The rest of y'all can burn with this planet, and then that'll be the end.
I hear you. Killer says, let's hope the live action Mortal Kombat can live up to the animated movie. The pacing was a bit fast, though. Slow it down a tad for live action. Well, it's going to have to get slowed down a little bit for live action. I mean, that's kind of common sense because you're going to have to, there's going to be some filler parts in it, unfortunately, as long as it's not too much. And I want to see little backstories and stuff, or I want to see planning, or I want to see strategy sessions. That's all part of it. Just as long as it has um, good action scenes, fight scenes like the movie. I don't have to see anybody like I know one part when he stabbed with the thing and it kind of went to the eyes and the eyes went all jiggly. I mean, I don't have to see all that, but
Yeah,
hearing
we do.
well, I don't have to see that. But if I want to see somebody um, leg get broken or fucked up or arm or shoulder, pull out the socket stuff, that'd be pretty cool. But all of the stabbing and stuff, I hope they get a good Quan Chi. The Quan Chi on the guy that played Quan Chi
Conquest, like
on Conquest,
he
he
was
was
funny as
perfect.
hell.
He
But
was
it's just
perfect.
Danny. We gotta admit the way Quan Chi was talking, like, so you couldn't defeat Kung Lao. Like
Yeah.
he just always had that like that asshole, arrogant, like nonchalant kind of voice to him. I'm just like, how
I,
you?
the people that did Conquest, they were ahead of their times because Conquest was actually better than any of the Mortal Kombat movies I've seen, in my opinion.
And you
Conquest
know,
just they needed the violence, but they had their actors. Their actors were superb. They looked like the people. They the guy that played Shang Chi,
wait, you
Quan
talking about?
Chi, Shang
Yeah.
Tsung, the Emperor, they were on point. Even Raiden
Um,
was on point.
I think the only reason why I enjoyed Conquest more than the movies is because the fighting in Conquest was better.
Yeah.
A lot
I
better.
mean, so yeah, that's really the only reason. Like, because the story was fine, I guess. It wasn't any
The
better than the movie.
first Raiden on the movie, I liked him, Christopher Lambert, that played in
Oh yeah,
um
Connor
Hmm.
McLeod from the
yeah,
Highlands of
the
Scotland.
Highlander.
Hmm.
I liked him. But the Raiden that was on Conquest now, he wasn't no slow lead neither.
You know who that Raiden is, right?
I think he the man that used to play on
He plays Black Lightning.
No, yeah, you talking about Annihilation? I think Danny's talking about the one from Conquest.
Oh! I thought I was talking about the movie
yeah,
Yeah,
the one on the second one, yeah, he plays Gambi.
Gambi. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
and he was in that epic movie, The Warriors. He was one of their crew. He got captured by the cops. He was
Hmm.
trying to fuck that lady in the park. Which I'm like, look, my dude, you just got to make it home. They said they got a bunch of women there, and he just randomly decided to go after the female in the park. I'm like, that had to be the dumbest.
The only thing I'll say about that last question about the slow pacing is the movie was only like what an hour and
hour
20
hour
minutes,
and 20 minutes.
right? So
Yeah.
they can give us a 2 hour movie and they can manage the pacing with that. I don't have an issue
I
with it.
wasn't mad at the length. It was long enough. It was short enough for me not to get bored at all in any spots, and long enough to like, damn, man, this shit was all right. And
Yeah, I
then
agree.
I want to see how the emperor talk about gather your armies. We're going to war. I'm like, well, how can you break the treaty with the? And I want to see
um,
Shinra, Shinnok. I want to see him. And then there's another guy in that Mortal Kombat. He got a lot of tattoo markings on him. He looked like he Hawaiian or something.
oh,
I'm
I
not
know you're
sure
talking
who.
about.
Uh, I want to see
Hawaiian.
him. I think he's like the new God of Thunder or something.
Okay, but to be fair, um, you got to be careful not to put a bunch of characters just to do it. Like that's what Mortal Kombat Annihilation did. That's why that movie is trash. There are a couple of things in there that I like, but it's a terrible movie because they couldn't make up their mind whether they were Mortal Kombat 2, 3, or 4. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. You need to have a structure to your movies. So
That's the one where they
if
had like got to tap into your inner beast or whatever.
Yeah,
your animality, yeah, that was a
yeah.
Mortal Kombat thing, and Nightwolf was teaching Liu Kang. I'm like, Nightwolf
Yeah.
looked amazing, but at the same time, I'm like, you're confusing the audience because number one, your storytelling is horrible, but there's no structure. Like I said, it's like
That
Mortal
CGI
Kombat
was
2.
horrible too. That
It
Mm.
sucker
was,
turned to a dragon, the other one turned to like a three-headed, whatever the
yeah,
fuck it
that
was.
was, yeah, Shao Kahn when he. I was like, I shit better CGI than that. That's fucking terrible. So I was like, no,
Yeah,
hell no.
that was awful.
So
Yeah, they mixed too many Mortal Kombats together in that one. So as long as they just keep it like Mortal Kombat 1 and then take a story from Mortal Kombat 2 and do from 3 and keep going like that, they should be fine. But if they start mixing everything up into one, then they're going to confuse people.
Killer Killer.
yeah.
I agree with you. I want to see Kenshi and Nightwolf. Kenshi was my favorite player on whatever Mortal Kombat he came in. That sucker was hell with that blindfold on that sword.
Hmm.
Okay, I should say that there is no slow it down. Mortal Kombat should never be slow, ever. Even when they're doing dialogue sequences, it needs to be of worth. There should be no moment in any Mortal Kombat movie that's slow. It should all be progressing the story. So in the case of a movie, I don't know, let's say it's an hour, 40 minutes, 2 hours, whatever. You don't have no slow moments. You can have periods of what they call relaxation, meaning that you're not having a fight scene, but you should show a character training or a character learning. Like there should be something that pushes the story along, even
Hmm.
though you're not getting fighting. So the movie, it does not have to live up to the animated one. That's bullshit. It doesn't have to live up to that. All it has to do is be good. It just has to be a good Mortal Kombat movie. Like that is the worst thing you can do is when you say it has to live up to this movie or this actor. No, it doesn't, because it doesn't need to be the same. It should be different, but you should take away the things that made that other thing good, based off of what people like. Okay, they like seeing a lot of characters. They like the brutal violence. Okay, now we need to do our own story so it doesn't feel like a copy. You want something special. The movie that comes out needs to be special, and it needs to be for whatever we see in that movie. It should
Mm.
not be the same. So that's what I'm
Well,
saying. Like it's the same thing. Like when they have these actors that are playing characters that we've seen before, mostly DC characters. You
mm,
just need to have the actor or the actress be good. That's all you need. There is no, oh, I gotta be as good. No, you don't. You need to be as good as you're gonna be. If you go in there with that mindset, you're probably gonna fuck it up because you're gonna be nervous because you're trying to copy somebody else's shit. You shouldn't be doing that.
I don't think it's going to be the same as the cartoon. I think they're going to do their own shit. I think they're going to do their own stuff. So I agree with that 100%. They don't have to make the cartoon into a movie, but as long as they keep with the principles of Mortal Kombat, like they could do a whole Mortal Kombat and just focus it on the actual tournament, right? The cartoon was focused on Scorpion, but they can focus the movie on the actual tournament. So there's a lot of things that they can
Exactly.
do that are
That is
different, you know?
exactly. High five, Jason. That is exactly right. Like you just there are so many Mortal Kombat stories and angles that you can approach it. you're never
Mhm.
going to run out, you know, so
Mhm.
there should be no need to live up or to copy. So um, there's a lot of existing Mortal Kombat material. You have the games, you have that terrible cartoon, you have the two
Mhm.
bad movies, you have the series, and then you have this one. So all you have to do is look at that and respect it and go, now we're going to do this. And then if they want to, they can even look at the YouTube stuff because the YouTube the episodes that made up their two seasons, they're kind of a little bit different in tone, but they all have a dark tone. But it's like you
Mhm.
have different storytellers, but the nature of the characters are still there. It's just like a
Mhm.
different approach for the way that they kind of conduct their stories. So that's kind of more or less what you want to do. You want to have the dark tone, but you still want your characters to feel different. Like Sub Zero should not be feel the same as Johnny. They
Mhm.
shouldn't all blend together. At least
Mhm.
not in the same that they feel like generic copies of each other. They need to stand out. This character needs to have his personality. She needs to have hers. They need to have their own fighting style, and you
Mhm.
need to showcase their brutalities and their
Mhm.
fatalities, which
Mhm.
they said is going to be there. So uh, the fact that I can think of all of this in seconds and they have a whole team of people when they can't even do that, then it just shows me that they did not have the main ingredient, which is passion. And you can always tell when you're dealing with passion and when you're dealing with people that want to just make money because it's a
Mhm.
recognizable IP.
Mhm. Absolutely. And that's why I said, like, just give me some fatalities in the movie. You know what I mean? Give me their moves that they actually do in the game, and a pretty good story focuses on the tournament. I'll be fine with that. I'll be
Exactly.
absolutely fine with
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. And hopefully when we see the characters, what I don't want, I want the characters to look like the characters, right? Like
Mhm.
the thing that irritates me is when they look like regular people. Like
Mhm.
they look like people. You look out your window and it's like, oh, that's Sub Zero or that's Jax. I'm like, why do they look so plain? They're supposed to be amazing. Like they should stand out. That should look like Jax. That should look like Sub Zero. Like I shouldn't have to hear their name to know that that's the character. If you have to say their name and I can't just recognize them, in my opinion, you fucked up because that means you
Mhm.
changed the character too much.
Mhm.
As
And
soon as
that's
that character steps on screen, I should know who they are.
exactly, and that's why I'm upset with. Well, I won't say upset because I haven't seen it yet. But the guy who's playing Jax, man, the super, I don't know. Unless he gets big, unless he bulks up, he's not Jax to me.
See, like now, see, remember, excuse me, remember I told kind of talked about it a little bit with you guys, but so many other individuals where I talked about the body to me is not a
That,
problem because I
yeah.
know they're gonna bulk him up.
Oh yeah.
My problem is his face. He doesn't look like the character at all. Like he has a baby face. That's not an insult. It just means that he's gonna look super young when he's 70. That's actually a great thing. But for the character though, whenever you're casting for video game characters or comic book characters, the face should be the starting point. They need to look like it. They got to have the eyes, the jaw
Mhm.
structure, whatever. And then the body, you could do what you need to do. And then if there's effects, then you can add those. Like with the metal arms, like if he has to go a little bit faster, you could just use the CGI to kind of make it seem like he's going faster than he is. But the face, I mean, sure, you can put prosthetics on it and you could tweak it, but you run the risk of it looking too fucking fake versus if you actually just get someone that looks like the character. Just saying. And also he's not a very good actor either. I just want to throw
That's
that
what
out
I
there.
was saying too.
Who?
Like
So
I would have
the guy that they chose for
to
Jax,
put Jax.
he's
He's all
he's
right. I've seen worse. I think he could pull it off. I mean, because you could grow a beard, you grow a beard and a mustache, and they can do some of that aging stuff. And man,
but that's what I'm saying though. Like the agent stuff is to make someone look younger or older, not to completely restructure their entire face. Like Martin Scorsese's movie is an example of what they did for Joe Pesci and Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, especially. They just made them look younger, but that's still their face. To get this dude
Mhm.
to look like Jax, they're gonna have to restructure his whole face. His face
yeah.
is round. Jax's face isn't like that. Like he doesn't look like him.
I
So
wanted.
if Yeah,
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. I was just gonna say I wanted to see Mac from Agents of Shield as Jax.
he would be a better one than him. Number one, I think he's a slightly better actor. Number one, he does look a little bit more like Jax because again, when you're
The,
using prosthetics
the,
and things like that, you run the risk of it not looking good. There's a
if they're
problem.
doing the younger version, I would go with him. If they're gonna do the older version of Jax that we see on the games, I think Idris Elba would be perfect. I know you're saying he's too old, but I think he could pull it off. And this is gonna be like one of those one and done MK movies. Or if they plan on doing something for extra years, I'd say maybe not because of his age. But right now, compared to what I've seen with the old Jacks that they see on the Mortal Kombat movies, he could pull
Mhm.
that off easy, and then they could bring in
Um,
his daughter to kind of replace him.
there are plenty of other actors that are younger that
I
can do
know.
that. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna try to make a franchise. They're not gonna do a one and done. I highly doubt that. They might say that if the movie fails because it's a cover up thing, but if it does well, the bank that there's
Well,
gonna be more.
well, my fingers are crossed is going to do well, but two things is killing it. The first time director. I'm just skeptical of him. I know there been somebody got to get a start somewhere. I know that's true to be helped, but I don't know if I want them to start on something that is such a famous franchise. I'm not sure about him. On the research I've done, he's only done one video about something not even mind blowing. And the second thing is it's coming out in January, unless this crisis is going to push it back further, which I hope it does. But I'm just kind of leery of
Um,
those two things.
that those things don't matter because in fact the MCU is littered with directors that haven't done stuff when Kevin Feige casted them. The Russo brothers is a big example of that. Do you know where they came from before they did Winter Soldier and Infinity War and Endgame? They were doing smaller level stuff. They had never done anything like that.
Mhm.
Nowhere near. But the potential was there. Kevin Feige was obviously right. That was a huge leap. They went from we're gonna swim in the tiniest pool in our backyard to now we're gonna jump in the fucking ocean. That's what they went to. So there's examples of how you have people that are in doubt, like oh they haven't did much, or they only did this music video, or they did an episode of this one TV show. It's really hard to say if they're gonna succeed or fail. You won't know until you try, but everyone has to start from somewhere. Even the directors that we all know and love, they had to start somewhere before they got to being respected, which means they
Okay.
had to be given a chance, right? So like all I'm saying is that the average person, they don't pay attention to that. They don't really care who's directing it or who's writing it. They don't even know that. Like what they know is that they watch
Terrence,
the trailer and they
did I
like it or
not
they
just
don't.
say that same thing you saying now?
No, I know. I'm just adding my thoughts in there because it's important to go into this because a lot of people, they have to understand the different angles because they don't care about the stuff that we do. They don't.
Okay.
They're
I'm
going to
speaking I'm
respond.
speaking from the geekdom. I'm not speaking from the average fan. I said that
Right.
is my concern. My one major concern about this, and I don't know, and along with I hope it's good writing, but I hope the director knows what the hell he's talking about. 'Cause I don't want somebody that's directing this, and they never saw a Mortal Kombat movie and never played the game. I don't want that to happen. It may happen, and they may have a good understanding of how to put pieces of a movie puzzle together, but I don't want that. I want somebody that has a thorough knowledge of this, so they can be like, well, Sonya does this finishing move. No, she does this. How about they give Sonya Liu Kang finishing move and vice versa? I mean, I don't want nothing like that. And I know that would never. I hope that would never happen. But I'm just using that
Um.
as an extreme example.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I'm
hear you.
saying is I want
But
somebody that knows Mortal Kombat and is a fan just like we are.
Mhm.
Not
James Wan
somebody.
knows
Not
Mortal Kombat. That's one thing that people are overlooking. James Wan is the producer of the movie, and he has a lot of influence on the movie, and he knows Mortal Kombat. Like I don't know why everyone is skipping over that. Like it. So I think that he will be sure to guide people in the right direction. He has a heavy influence on the movie. In fact, he was the one that convinced whatever studio was going to put it out to make it in the first place because of his success with Aquaman and the short horror movies that he's done and what he did with the Fast and Furious franchise. Like, this is important.
mm, I hope so. Man said, I think it would do good. By that point, people would be so desperate for normal, they'll see anything. That is a very true statement. Fatal J says Keanu Reeves can play everybody.
Hey, I ain't gonna be mad at Keanu Reeves no matter what. But again, like if I see him in certain things, I might be like, Keanu, why are you here? But all right, you Keanu. Like to
They're saying
me,
that's Kenshi. So I can see him as Kenshi because he did that kind of like this. He can reprise the same role he did in 47 Ronin.
oh God, I hope he does the role just to eclipse that terrible movie. That movie was awful.
Man, I love
But
that movie.
I could
me
see him
too.
as Kenshi.
I didn't say it wasn't entertaining, but it's still a terrible fucking movie. In fact, a lot of movies that are entertaining are pretty bad. Let's be real, because if you think about it, not that good movies or great movies are not entertaining, but sometimes you can have those movies that are good, got the good story, but they boring as hell, so you don't care how good they are because you're not entertained. So in terms of Keanu Reeves, I'm like, this dude tends to play the one in everything, right? He's the one guy that has to avenge his puppy. He's the
Hmm.
one guy that has to save everybody from the agents. He's the one guy that has to stop the bus. You know what I mean? Like he's the one guy in Manichi that is holding the martial arts tournament that everyone goes to, and he's the one guy that has to fight the
Oh,
hero at the end of the movie.
The
hey,
only
this
yeah, go ahead.
right here, Amari Harwood would be awesome as Jax. I second that. He would be
Who was
awesome.
that?
I would
Pull
The
up
guy
just
the
put
that
image.
that.
the guy that plays Ghost on Power. He
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
I could
okay,
see
yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
could see
Oh,
that. I could
I
see
I
that.
can I can see that. Um, yeah, I can see that. I don't have a problem with that. Like
I
I
could
think
see that.
that from what I've seen from Power, I haven't seen the whole thing, but I've seen that actor in that and a couple other things. He's a
and you
decent
know
actor.
Tommy could play what's the cop with the baton?
Strider,
He can
striker.
play he can
Striker,
play
yeah.
Striker.
Hmm.
Yep.
You talking
The
about
only
the
thing
the
I would
white? You talking about the white dude?
Yep.
yeah.
Uh, it, his face. I don't know. Like,
The only thing I
uh.
would say about Keanu Reeves as Kenshi is he's big. So if he did do it, would they want to center it around him? That would be the problem I would have. You know what I
Um,
mean?
that's why you would wait to like James Wan was talking about, he wants to have structure to it. He's not directing it, but he's the producer. So again, he has influence. That doesn't mean it's going to turn out well, but it does give people a little bit more hope that it could possibly go in the right direction. I would have been happier if he was actually fucking directing it. That would have been perfect. Fucking James Wan doing a Mortal Kombat movie. What the hell? But I think that with Kenshi and Shinnok and people like that, you need to wait. Give it a couple of movies or something before you
Hmm.
start getting to them. Like your first
Hmm.
movie should be focused on your main characters from the first game. You can have
Hmm.
Easter eggs and stuff like that, but don't put all your best stuff in one bucket because then you
Hmm.
don't have anything to do anything else. You definitely
Hmm.
need some kind of structure. No, that doesn't mean that doesn't mean you gotta do the MCU thing. It just means that you need to have structure.
Yeah, and like I said, Jax shouldn't even really have such a big role in this one, anyways, right? Because he's more prominent in the second one. So maybe they'll
Right.
show Jax in this one and how he gets his arms. It'll probably be different from what they did in the cartoon, which I'm fine with. Center around who they're supposed to, which is Sonya, Johnny Cage, and Liu Kang, like they
Hmm.
did. Those
That's
those
right.
should be the center of the first one.
Now
And
Zack
Raiden.
Snyder, like Zack Snyder, he's probably one of the best visual directors I've ever seen in my life. In fact, what he did for 300 and Watchmen is still some of the best shit I've ever seen in terms of adaptations. Like like when you have an image in your mind, like for me, when they're like, man, Terrence, how do you picture this coming to life? I'll tell you, get Zack Snyder in here. He will make it look exactly how I want. Or, you get Robert Rodriguez to do it because what he did with the lead of Battle Angel, or in my opinion, more importantly, Sin City, which is the best comic book movie adaptation ever made, period, because it is exactly page by page the graphic novels. And
Mhm.
Frank Miller was there to make sure. So if you're telling me visuals, you get Robert Rodriguez and Zack Snyder to help you with that, cool. And then you get the writers, you get the right writers, awesome. And then you get the casting done. Like I said, it has to be like a fully functioning ship. There can't be any piece that's left unchecked. And any person with passion will tell you that they're going to have all areas covered. Like if they go, oh, I didn't think about that. How did you not think about that? That's like a basic thing that you get people to look like the characters. Like, how could that slip your mind?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
She's looking at over there.
Trying to send a message and this thing keeps spinning.
Man, they like, and they better cast some good ass looking women too to be these characters. Like I don't want to see no generic looking females these characters. She better look good as fuck. Sonya,
Yeah, I agree with that.
Katana, all of them. They better all of that shit. I need to have them to have the little muscle tone. Have some tits and ass on them. They better look good as fuck because that's how they're supposed to look.
Mm-hmm.
None of this. They gonna wear like 2 sweaters and be covered up the whole movie and saying shit like I can be as strong as Raiden because I'm a woman. Like none of that kind of shit. None of that stupid shit.
I hope not. I hope not. I hope they just stick true to what we've seen so far, and give us some badass women, some badass ninjas. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some great ass fight scenes. Yeah, that's what I want.
Right.
To see,
Because I mean, I can suspend my belief and divorce reality all I want, but sometimes when characters talk a certain way, I'm like, why are you talking like that? The characters don't talk like that. That sounds like somebody that I like met online that has kind of emotional problems. Like, why do they sound like that?
Or their acting is horrible. You know what I mean? Just gonna throw you out. Yeah.
I'm like, was this in the script or did like this actress have her way and throw a tantrum and she forced her own impression on this character? Because I'm like, last time I checked, that's not Sonya Blade, that's not Katana, that's not Melina. You didn't fuck them all up. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I don't know, fellas. I just hope this movie will be good. I hope that they don't push everything back to be about too damn bored, lost interest in it. So I hope it doesn't happen.
You know what's funny about that, Danny? I feel like sometimes that starts, but then it circles back. Like at least for me, like in terms of New Mutants, I heard about that. I was like, yo, man, you gonna bring Colossus' sister up in here? Oh hell yeah! Like so, I was like, cool. They're gonna have like a little horror movie element. That's cool. Even though I feel like you'd be hard pressed to do something more horrific than Swamp Thing. But anyway, I was like, cool.
That's the thing where they got the people named Snowflake and
no. That's a bullshit
comic book
that just got made. New Mutants is X-Men. Like it's based in the X-Men universe. It's the last one.
What's that called?
New Mutants.
The New Mutants.
The thing I was talking about.
Oh shit! I didn't forgot the name.
The New Warriors or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Shit like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I haven't read it. Like I saw a trailer for it and I saw the way the characters look. I ain't got time for that. That's a complete I feel like all those characters are victims of a small portion of the population's ideals on what men and women should be in 2020. It's disgusting. I don't have to read it to know what that's about.
What's crazy is that the powers will make sense. One person got like a magic book bag, I think, and she pulled shit out of the book bag. I mean, what the hell is she? Cause is she supposed to be Mrs. Mixopilix? Like I say that there.
She would be more of a ripoff of The Question. That's what that is.
We're supposed to pull stuff out of her book bag that I don't know. Only reason I know that, man, because for a minute there was the only thing trending on YouTube. I'm like, how many times I'm gonna have to watch this shit and hear people critique it?
It was trending for the wrong reason. That's why.
People was making fun of it and laughing. I mean, I can look at it till there's nothing I'd be interested in. There have been some movies and some shows I should be interested in, and I'm like, no. Like for instance, people went bat crazy shit over what's the thing that was such a big stink how it ended.
You talking about Game of Thrones?
Yeah, Game of Thrones. I've never seen it. I can't get past the second episode. I had no desire to see it. And I've heard a bunch of people say, man, Danny, you got to check this out. You go, I just don't have a desire to see it.
Well, I've seen about 2 to 3 episodes of Game of Thrones from beginning to end. I did not like the show. However, I
Neither
do
did I.
think that I do think that the show has great characters and good storytelling. This is a situation where I could see myself recommending it to a bunch of humans, which I have done, but for me personally, it's not something that I can enjoy outside of maybe like a couple of moments. Like, so some of my friends, they were watching it when it was big. They didn't talk about the last season because there was something wrong. Because normally when Game of Thrones come out, I'm like, "Fuck, Darren, man, this shit is dope. You gotta watch this fight scene." And then I watch like a scene. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty dope." But the rest I didn't
Mhm,
really care for. But
mhm,
that last season, they never brought it up. I had to ask. I was like, "Yo, man, what's happening with Game of Thrones? You ain't said jack shit about it." They're like, "Man, Terrence, this shit is like the worst season of anything ever made." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And then there was like over 1 million people that signed a petition to do redo the entire last season. I was like, I have never ever heard of that shit before. I was like, I've heard of people not liking an episode, but to have that many people want you to redo the last season or something, I'm like, oh man,
mhm.
like that's a huge drop for like the greatest show ever made, according to a lot of people.
Mhm.
I watched
It
the
reminds
first
me of
3 episodes, and I was like, no, this isn't for me, man.
yeah. I couldn't get past the first two. Um,
Hmm.
it kind of remind me. You remember that old show? Terrence probably won't remember it. But it was called Wizards and Warriors. You remember that,
Yes,
Jason?
yes.
Hmm. Hmm.
You remember that? I can't think of the bad. Except bad guy name was like Dirt Blackpool, and I can't think of the good guy. It was something crazy,
I
but
didn't like that shit either.
Yeah,
it
no, me
reminded
neither.
that kind of stuff. I grew up, man. That kind of stuff. Those kind of shows that you say is crappy, like Spider Man, Doctor Strange, Wizards and Warriors. Like that list I put up the other day on my nobody. I think one person knew what the hell I was talking about. Did you see the poll I put up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Somebody
saw it.
sent me and say I think it was Killer Keller. He was like sorry bro, I can't help you. I never heard of these shows. Those shows that I grew up on, man.
Hmm.
I grew up
I've seen them all, but I to honestly, Danny, there's only one that I feel like I can watch, which is the 6 million whatever man. Like
six
I was
million
like,
dollar man.
yeah, like that's fine, but I don't really have a favorite on that list. Like I just don't.
Well, I liked Manimal. I liked Manimal. Manimal was good.
Yeah. That
You
took
know,
a it took
I
a
don't
turn. Any
remember
kind of damn animal he
it.
want.
Yeah. Yeah, I barely remember it, but I remember the way he turned into the
My dad
eagle.
my dad got me hooked on that stuff, man. My dad was a big sci-fi, especially Star Trek.
No, those the shows that you had on that poll were just like, oh, I remember these, and it was like the $6 million man. I was like, yeah, Mark Wahlberg was gonna do a movie about that like 5 years ago, and it never happened.
Uh,
Um, and it was actually a concept where I was like, hey, this could actually be better than the show if they do it right.
Hmm.
'Cause the show itself, while it was
the
okay, I
show,
think this is
the show back then that was the biggest. Lee Majors was like the biggest star back then because he had just
Hmm.
come off of what's the cowboy show he used to play on Big Valley. That way
Oh
he
no
got
no
a
no!
start.
I know it was popular.
Yeah,
Trust me, I was educated thoroughly when I was a kid on many shows and movies. Like it just they let me know, and I'm just like,
probably the
eh.
least popular one on that list was Manimal, then probably Automan.
Oh man.
I can't remember the other one I put on there.
But you can improve that. That's
You
why I
didn't
was
throw
like,
Airwolf on there though, Danny.
Yeah, Airwolf was sci-fi. Airwolf was more action. The ones I put on there was kind of like science fiction. But I
True,
love Airwolf
true,
now.
true.
Airwolf or Knight Rider
Yeah, I like. Hmm.
and
so
Street
Knight
Hawk.
Rider. Now Knight Rider, like to me, I didn't care for that. Not saying it's bad, but like I thought it had a coolness factor to it, which allowed me to watch it. Right, like Kit, like that's cool. But that's one of the many shows where I can't say I was a fan, but I do have a certain appreciation for it, like the concept and stuff. So if they were to redo it, I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, okay, yeah, Knight Rider. I'm down to check out, see what they do, and I remember correctly, they did redo it. So
They did.
whatever they did, I do remember
Mm-hmm.
watching it, whatever it was. But like,
I'm
I'm
telling
like, yeah,
you, back
Yes.
then, Glenn Larson, he was creating shows left and right. If
Mm-hmm.
you look up his Wikipedia, that sucker had like 30, 40 hit shows. I mean, he was just cranking them out.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had his imagination.
yeah. See, like, yeah, just there were just so many like I mean, even when I was a kid, I've always been more of a movie guy. Like with shows, they tend to take longer to watch, so I was very selective. There was plenty of shows, including all the ones on your list, that I was like, I'll move on to something else. It's just there was way too many. I'm like, if it wasn't something that I felt like I can watch every episode, then it just I wasn't sticking with it. At least with the movie, 2 hours and it's done. Go on to something else, and that was it. So um, yeah, shows got to be special. There are exceptions, like if it's comic book based, you automatically have my attention no matter what. Like period. Until Batwoman is terrible. I've seen every episode, but like my knowledge and appreciation of the character has compelled me to watch on in the hopes that I can one day say I've seen a good episode. And also, I don't like the whole idea of not watching something and then all of a sudden there's a character or a story arc that they do, which is something that I had to run by one of my boys, like because he wasn't watching Arrow for the longest time. And I
Mm-hmm.
went over his house and we were chilling. She's like, "Man, T man, I love to see Deathstroke." I was like, "Yo, man, you need to watch Arrow." I was like, he was in all of season one. He's the main villain of season two. And then I was like, so watch all of that, and then the rest just put like, you know, Deathstroke appearances in Arrow, and they will tell you which episodes to watch. So that's what he did. But he would see because he doesn't consume them as much as I do. So like he didn't know that. I'm like, see, that's exactly why I don't do that. Because I would have been like you. Oh man, I want to see this character. Little did you know he's a main character on Arrow, at least for the first couple seasons. I'm like, see, I don't want that to happen.
Let me tell you, Glenn Larson made, well, I don't know if you remember this, The Fugitive,
Hmm.
The Virginian, that came out in 1970 Cowboy Show, Elliot Smith and Jones, The $6 Million Man,
Yeah.
Quincy, Hardy Boys
Mm-hmm.
and Nancy Drew,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, Battlestar Galactica,
Yep. Yep.
good Lord, Buck Rogers,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
BJ and the Bear,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Magnum PI, The Fall Guy, Simon and Simon, Knight Rider, Manimal, Automan, Masquerade, Cover Up, The Highwayman, Team Knight
Yeah.
Rider, Nightman. Damn.
See, like
Mm-hmm.
I respect the creativity, but like after you mentioning that list, most of which I've seen, there's a few of them I haven't, but like I'm not a fan of that person, but I do appreciate the creativity. So like I wouldn't mind having him on my team in terms of the creative department, but like I would only have him there because I can see the potential of what his creativity can be, not so much that I'm specifically a fan of his work.
Yeah. All you need is a good idea because I remember Nightman. God, I didn't know he made that. It was kind of cheesy, but I remember it.
Um, I would go so far as to say that if I had an office full of humans and they're like, well, all you need is a good idea. I'm like, yeah, that's a starting point. But what I need from all of you is execution.
No, I
Like
need
because a lot
somebody
of
I need somebody to keep pumping out the ideas. Now I get a writer or someone that specializes in that particular, like science fiction. I want you to think of a good science fiction. Give me a good science fiction idea. Okay, here's a man that been in an accident, and we got technology to make him faster, stronger, can see far. Blah blah blah. Blah. Boom. Then I get a writer that deals with that kind of stuff. That would be my $6 million man movie. Boom. Give me a woman idea about Amazon. Okay, this is an Amazon woman, part God or all God or whatever the case may be. She got special power. Blah 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 blah. Boom. That's what I need. Somebody that
I
can write. Somebody come up with good ideas. And I
I yeah
marry those two.
I would need everybody to work together because when it comes to ideas, I have those for days. In fact, I've shared plenty of them with you, Danny, as you heard with Blade. I have a trillion ideas for Blade. Like there's so many things that I could tell Kevin Feige to do. It's ridiculous. A lot of which that he probably doesn't know himself. But since he has a team of people, you don't need a team with Terrence. You just need Terrence. I'll steer you in the right direction. But like,
You know, the old way they used to do that stuff is like you come up with an idea, you want to get it trademarked, then you first of all you put in an envelope, mail it to yourself. That way it get timestamp, whatever, and then you send the idea to whoever. They just say, "Oh, this might no, it's my idea because see right here, add this little thing right here and date, time, blah blah blah. It's been notarized and this and then." That's how people used to do it in the old days. So you might need to do one of the old school things and send your ideas to Kevin Feige. And then you can put us in that Terrence world you were talking about once he cut you off one of them big fat checks.
see that, and that's the thing though. Like I would say on the stage, I'm like, look, I ain't even here for money. I just like want to see certain things. So for me, him telling me that I can come up with this or be a part of that, to me, that's enough. Everything else is extra. I don't care about. I don't
Well,
care about the money.
he's gonna give you, then just siphon it to me and Jason.
I understand. No, I know I can use money, but I'm just saying like that's never been my driving force for anything. It's just a passion. Because I feel like with the right passion and the right people, money probably will come later. Or immediate, depending on what we're talking about. But I feel like the focus point would be, hey, we need to make this because it's gonna make people lose their damn minds. They think they know what they want, but they really don't. We're gonna show them what they want.
Yeah.
Because man, so many humans be like, man, this is so good. They can't do better. I'm just sitting there like I can give you 30 ideas that are better than this. And then they're just like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, well, that's because you don't know as much as I do. So of course it doesn't make any sense. Like, but I'm telling you that there's much better things you can do. I don't know how to direct shit. That's fine. I could get a good director. But it's just the idea is like it starts from somewhere. The writers. I'm a writer. So without me, you don't have shit else anyway. Because I gotta come up with the shit that you're gonna create. Without me, why would you need a director and a producer and actors? You don't have a fucking script to work from. You need people like me, ideas and writers. We're the starting point. We should be considered one of the most respectable fields, but unfortunately, that's not the case. People overlook writers because no one cares. They're not like, man, who wrote that movie? No one cares. They're just like, who's the director or who's the main star, like who's playing the main character. That's what most people care about, which is not bad. But I'm just saying, like, yo, man, this motherfucker right here, he wrote this movie. Like, here, let me bring him on stage. How'd you come up with this shit? I want to hear what he got to say or what she got to say.
Killer said, who will we cast in a Knight Rider movie? I was thinking about what's Thor's brother's name in real life?
Liam Hemsworth.
I can see him as Michael Knight.
Now, the funny thing about Liam Hemsworth is that he is similar to his brother Chris in they're both not very good actors. I mean, Chris has potential. Like I saw him in
David Hasselhoff wasn't a good actor neither.
No, I understand that, but I'm not saying he was, but I'm just saying like if you're going to bring something back and your whole purpose is to improve it, you might want to start with something a little better. That's all I'm saying. Like at least with Chris, I saw him in Rush. That has nothing to do with Marvel, and he was actually good in that. But outside of that, he can be what I call a hit or a miss. I feel like it just depends on him. He's been in a lot of shitty mediocre movies.
Make a Wolverine.
Wait, what happened?
Sounding like a robot. Yeah.
No.
No.
Nope. Still a robot.
I was thinking, what about the dude from Drive?
Oh wait, what was that, Jess?
I was saying the dude from Drive.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I mean, I don't really have anyone in mind. Like most of the time, when it comes to casting, I often don't have someone in mind, but what I'm really
Yeah, me
good at is
neither.
going
Sound better?
yes or no to a person. You know,
No,
Danny. Yeah.
not any.
But yeah,
Yeah, I like what you're saying. Yeah, me too. I don't really like say, oh, I would like to see this guy as that character or anything like that. But if you
Sound
put
better now?
somebody in there that does a good job, yeah.
still sound like a
Better?
robot. Oh wait. Say something else.
Sound better?
Still a little
A bit.
robotish,
How
a
about now?
bit.
Hello, hello.
Yeah,
We
man.
there's
It's
still like a little like a robot to it, but we can kind of make you out more than we could before. Not anymore.
yeah.
I can't hear nothing.
No, only in some cases I might be able to do that, but for the most part it's like, yes or no. Like, or man, he doesn't look anything,
Hmm.
or that's not the right fit, or why did you pick her? Like,
Hmm.
there's so many other better actresses that actually look more like what I've envisioned. Like, I'm blanking on her name, but oh yeah, Rosa Salazar. Her. She was a perfect pick for Alita. I mean, it just the only thing that
Hmm.
they did when they with the visuals, they made her eyes bigger and stuff like that. But like, I'm like that is definitely Alita. Like, I don't know much about
Hmm.
Alita, but like when I saw the different mangas and how she looked in the anime, I'm like, yeah, that's for sure Alita. Like,
Hmm.
that's definitely her.
Hmm. Hmm. Very underrated movie, man.
Now,
Yeah,
does it sound
because
better?
there you go. Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
unrated because it doesn't have an agenda. So
I was saying earlier, I
Yeah.
could see Johnny Ashmore as a new Wolverine.
damn. Wait, say that again, Danny. I don't know why they like.
So I could see Johnny Meshner as a new Wolverine.
Damn, I still can't make you out. Like, damn.
Hear me
Something
now?
Wolverine. I didn't see who. Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. It's just
It's kind of breaking up. That's why.
now that sounded okay.
How about now?
No, it's still slow.
Can you hear me now?
There you go. That's wait. No,
Yes, I
I'll
think.
try
How
to say
about
that
now?
again, and
Can you hear me now?
it's
No,
better,
still
but it's
roboty.
still messing up in the end.
Well, I don't know how to fix it. So it might be me. I need to leave because I got stuff to do.
Wait,
Hello?
don't leave us, Danny.
If y'all can't hear me, I don't know how to fix it. Well,
No, that we
I
heard
know
you,
how
and
you. I know you. I
we
know how you
didn't
could
hear you.
fix it. Just put your hands in the air, and I will give the mic my energy, and it'll help.
is that better now?
Call out Terrence's name, and he got a
Is
good
it better?
system.
Yeah. There you go.
Yes,
See, Danny. You see. All you had to do was just to
yes,
call out the name, and then
yes. There you go.
I was saying that as the new Wolverine, I think Johnny Meshner would be a good fit for that.
oh shit. Damn, it was good, and then it went back to the. If you can hear us, how about you put up a picture of the dude you're talking about at the very least.
Went right back.
Damn, he
Right
didn't get
back.
he didn't get
I
Is
enough
it
heard
of
the
my
name. I
better?
heard
energy.
Johnny something.
Is it better? Hello?
Okay, kind of, yeah, kind of. Now it look like Jason is frozen. Yeah, Jason died. Like,
Can you- oh, okay, I can hear you perfectly.
yeah, like, damn,
Sound
Jason looked like he died on us. Like, he just stuck in that like
Jason,
smile.
can
Like,
you hear me?
oh, there you go, Jason. No, I was saying, it looked like you had died for a minute because you were like stuck in that smile. Mm,
You hear us, Jason?
I
Can you hear
can
me?
hear you. I can hear you now, Danny. Wait, say something else.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go. Now you sound perfect. But then we lost Jason. That's hard. But yeah, so uh, who's that guy you're talking about, Danny? I'm trying to.
I said Johnny.
I'm
Johnny
back.
Madison.
Can you hear me?
Oh shit! Now Jason sound like a robot.
I can't hear any of you guys.
Jason, can you hear me?
No, I can. We still sound a little robot-y.
I hear you now.
I don't know what
Oh,
happened to Terrence.
oh
Oh,
no, I'm
okay.
here.
I
Yeah,
just heard that.
yeah.
All right. Can we all hear each other
Okay.
now? Can we all hear each other?
You went back to the robot
No,
thing.
you're still robot-y.
All right,
Yeah.
well, I got to go. I will catch y'all. I'm sorry, everybody. I'll get it fixed. But enjoy the chat as usual. We just cutting off a little 10 minutes early. We can text through phone, but right now I really gotta go. My boss call and I gotta take care of business. But thanks for coming and joining us, and I appreciate it. We'll catch up later on. Peace.
Yep.
Peace.